My husband keeps telling me to come to Reddit about our arguments, so here I am. Do all men feel how my husband feel?
Everyone knows Reddit's the best place for advice.
That's right. I, 22 female, have been with my partner, 29 male, for coming up on 3 years.
Ooh,
19-year-old
freshman
last
in
year.
college.
That's a little rough. That's a little rough. That's a little rough. And our daughter is 4 months old.
Whoa.
We got a kid in the equation.
22?
22? 22.
Wow.
He makes sure to let me know how lazy I am.
Yikes.
Thanks, buddy, for making sure you did that. Even though I'm the only one to care for our daughter and clean the house, I smell stinky, man.
Who could imagine the 29-year-old man who dated a 19-year-old was immature?
Who'd thunk it?
What?
He works a lot, and when he comes home, he spends a couple hours on the games, and he might hold our daughter for a couple of minutes. He says that since I'm staying home caring for our infant alone, I should have dinner made. The dogs and pig should be fed.
Is a pig in the equation now?
There's so many things going on. Watered, obviously, and walked. Oh, I guess the pets. Trash should be burned.
I know where they live. I know where they live. They live in the mountains.
They live
I have
in the
a friend
mountains.
that burned all his trash, which makes
Interesting.
sense.
Dishes should be clean. Floor should be swept and mopped. His other kid's room clean. Every surface wiped down. So
What is this?
I think there are at least 2 other children from a previous lady.
Oh, man.
He also says that there are, capital R, gender roles, and this is what a woman should do to keep her man happy.
Mm.
Yoikes.
Yikes.
That's the largest amount of red flags I've ever seen. I don't have my red flags, but I'm waving
Bro
them.
is not even hiding. He's just
No.
like, yes, women have gender roles.
He's
You should
like, yes,
clean
I
for me."
hate women.
Yeah.
What of it?
I have seen a recent gender role thing that I want to talk about at the end of the story.
Uh-oh. I'm excited to hear this.
Whoa.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy, oh boy.
According to him, I don't deserve to be loved on until I finish the chores and put the baby to sleep by myself and made sure that he feels loved and cared for.
So this man is just abusive.
This guy is literally a piece of human dookie.
He should be burned along with the trash.
Damn. Our daughter won't take a bottle and he won't help me with bottles, so I can't go back to work, but I'm also not helping financially. He doesn't stay up with our daughter. If I don't initiate doing the dirty deed, then we don't do it. He straight up says he won't touch me in ways that please me. Because we're not in high school, I feel crazy. He is obsessed with this concept of disrespect. Everything I do is disrespectful. If the dishes aren't clean, if the floors are not mopped, if I leave little trinkets around the house, if I started projects that I don't get to finish and forgot about when the baby woke up, or if the baby has been a little fussy and I'm feeding her when he gets home, I'm a fat, lazy waste of space. And why didn't I get anything done today? Sophia,
Oh
can
my
you
God.
can you chant with me real quick?
Yes.
Divorce, divorce, divorce.
Please.
This is
Please.
insanity.
Oh my God.
Bro,
This man is horrible.
he straight up doesn't care about you at all.
Yeah.
You are
0%.
literally just he's just like, you are my mule of just doing the things done that I want. And
he
if you
just
don't, then
harasses her about it.
God.
And he thought that her coming to Reddit was the best idea for him.
Oh, buddy.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
buddy, I totally forgot about
Yeah,
that.
he was the one who told her to post this on Reddit.
Wait, babe, no, not r/relationship. r/red pill. What are you doing, babe?
Who's the wrong one?
r/Tate fans, babe. I don't text him throughout the day telling him sweet little nothings, so I must not love him.
Oh.
Bro, are you like...
Oh my God. This is like, if you looked up the definition of gaslight, it's that guy.
It's this,
Gas
it's
lamp.
this guy's face.
Yeah.
Don't gas lamp us into thinking it's not gaslighting, Riley.
Manipulate, mansplain.
Wait, it is
Stop it.
gas lamping. I can explain this later.
Well, I'm going to keep reading this story so you can't.
Never.
Gaslamped.
You'll never.
I can't choose between being a mom and a partner, even though sometimes I have to because my daughter isn't capable of caring for herself. She's a baby.
Oh my God.
It's like he's mad that I can't be his mother for him, right? So Reddit, what do y'all think? Please be honest. He will absolutely be seeing every single word.
Oh my goodness.
So I've never been more excited to get into some relevant comments. But first, Sophia, talk to me.
I feel so bad for this 22-year-old who is clearly stuck in a horrible marriage. And I'm really hoping, like, one, she has other family members that she can turn to.
Yeah.
But also that, like, Reddit kind of helps her snap out of this, because this is a really awful situation.
It seems like she's maybe isn't fully there, is maybe kind of leaning towards the side of like, this is insane.
Something's off.
Something's
about this.
totally off. And this to me seems like a scenario of this guy who like sees this 19-year-old girl and he's like, oh, here's someone I can get to like do all my bidding and like do all this stuff and like basically make my personal maid.
Yeah.
And God,
impressionable 19-year-old and this 26-year-old person who may or may not have been still in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, people just do you not want to love and enjoy time with your partner? To me, I'm like, if we or someone have the means, let's like, I don't know, hire someone to clean so we can spend more time together.
Yeah.
I would never want my partner to clean when I'm like, I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I would rather do things to make sure we can hang out.
Yeah. Like get that done together so we can finish and split the chores.
There's this crazy concept towards like both trying and respecting each other in a relationship.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, maybe parenting your child as well.
Whoa, Sophia.
Sorry, I know that's a little bit progressive.
I'm a man and I just can't understand.
I've never been able to understand that.
Maybe if you posted this on Reddit, it could get through my thick noggin. But we have, speaking of which, Sophia, we have these relevant comments.
Speaking of which, Sophia.
Sophia's face is just like, what is about to happen right now?
The wink really threw me off. I'll be honest.
It's because I had something in my eye.
Oh. It went. Speaking of which, Sophia.
Oh my God, that's so funny. On to these relevant comments here. So, some additional info from OP. ETA, I kept my daughter because I'm not supposed to be able to have children. Okay, like she continued with the pregnancy, I think, is what she's saying.
Yeah. Okay.
I was 20 when we got together. It's about to be 3 years. Ooh. It's like 2.5 years. I turned 21 shortly after we got together, and he had just turned like 27 or 28, question mark.
Wow.
I should have been more cautious about that. I'm turning 23 soon. 2 work ago says he doesn't consider you a partner.
Clearly.
He considers you an indentured servant.
Yeah. He said you need to do everything and also love me the way that I expect and demand to be loved.
And only then will I give you love.
Yeah, will I give you love?
I will give you 1 token per mopping.
Yeah. You come at the end of it's like at a Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
You win all the points and then you have to go buy the love.
Except all the games are rigged.
All the games are rigged.
And you can't actually buy anything but a little gummy cheeseburger.
Yes. Exactly.
That was not inspired by a real story from me. Okay? Fake news. OP says, I say this all the time about like her actually being an indentured servant, not a partner. And he acts like it's crazy to say. Local disaster gay says when there is one partner staying at home and one partner working, household responsibilities should be split so that you have approximately equal free time. That is a great way of breaking it down.
Yeah, I like the equal free time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's like equity.
Equity over equality. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got plenty of time for gaming and sleeping and berating you. I bet you haven't even had an hour to genuinely relax since the baby was born. If not before.
I would bet that too.
I would put my money on that.
Yeah.
Opie says, I worked through my whole pregnancy. I I worked
my
a
God.
full 8-hour shift, 3 hours before I went into labor.
Oh my God.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
That's my God.
Oh, this man is so horrible.
I thought it was Braxton Hicks, so I muscled through it.
Contractions, yeah.
Contractions.
Like fake,
Thank you.
yeah, fake
I was just
contractions.
about to look that up. And the one time I cried, he rolled over and asked me to shut up.
Please,
Wow.
Please leave this man. Please leave this man. I really, really hope that OP has any other family members.
You think that this man cannot get any better? Or
Any
cannot
worse?
get any worse? I'm so sorry.
He definitely can't get any
He
better.
definitely can't get any better. Actually,
And he
can't.
certainly can get worse.
He can, yeah, he can get better because he is just the scum of the earth,
Yeah.
so low down
Yeah.
that he's nowhere to go but
actively
up.
digging
Yes,
further.
he's continuing to dig further
Yeah.
and further down. Janet Banana 67 says abstinence is the best form of birth control in the situation. Dear heavens, why are you with a man that doesn't seem to like you, let alone love you? He will raise your daughter to think she deserves to be treated like dirt. Opie says, one fear right here, and the biggest red flag is that when I express this to him, he doesn't want his daughter to treat men like I do. Like what?
Oh,
Have
my
a
goodness.
conversation?
He's like, I don't want my daughter to talk back.
Yeah.
As in, I don't want her to have any sort of opinions at all.
She should just sit there and then mop and then sit again.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be, right? I have an avoidant personality and a lot of childhood trauma. Sometimes I don't communicate well, and I'm also suffering in my postpartum. I haven't seen a doctor yet, so I don't really know what's going on with me, if anything even is, but I'm taking my psychiatric meds, so I really don't know if I'm the problem or not. You are not the problem, OP. You are not the problem. OP on her Reddit history and why she married her husband. OP. He is my baby daddy. He is also my husband. I do still want to leave him. I didn't think I could have kids, so I kept my daughter. I used my Reddit mostly for bartending because I happen to like bartending. Oh, like her Reddit account for like looking at bartending and stuff. I didn't know this was how he was when we first got together. And then finally, OP on her husband's background, he was a Marine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, what do we do here?
Ooh, 100% leave this man.
Leave.
Because he has very outdated ideas of gender roles and parenting.
I would leave and sue for child support.
Yeah, you could definitely sue for child support.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no, he's not trying. He's not doing anything. I feel like OP could 100% get full custody probably, because this man doesn't care about his children.
That's another great point.
Yeah.
And he, again, I was kind of picking up on the context clues, but the story said his other kids. So he has at least two other children.
Where are these other kids coming from?
This is insane. Like,
yeah,
there's no.
But I'm also wondering the way that do we know when they got married? Or if they're married?
They are married because she says my husband. I don't know. Okay, so it's been about I was 21 when we got together. It's about to be 3 years. It's like 2.5 right now. I turned 21 shortly after we got together. And he just turned like 27 or 28. And they conceived the child a little over a year ago.
Yeah, so it seems like the way that she's phrasing it is that she found out she was pregnant and then they probably got married.
Yes, I think that.
Yeah. So maybe that's the contributing factor for why she stayed with him.
And she said he wasn't like this in the beginning.
Yeah. So, but definitely leave now.
Dude, get out immediately.
Yes, horrible man. And I feel very bad for this poor woman.
I do as well. But there is more.
No.
There is more to
is
the
it better?
story. It could be.
Okay.
It could be.
Okay.
There are some things that I didn't like being infantilized, but everyone is entitled to an opinion and that's okay. I tried to show him the post and he didn't really want to look at it. Make up your mind, buddy.
You asked.
Hey, Sophia, could you you're making some brownies. Could you
Yeah.
make some for me?
Of course. Yeah.
Hey, Sophia,
Oh, yeah. I'm just making these brownies.
stop. I don't want any of these brownies.
But you asked me to make the brownies.
Are you literally kidding me right now? Get these brownies out of my face.
Ugh.
Nonsensical. Insane. Okay? Best improv podcasters in the game.
Yes.
Analogies.
No one's doing it like us.
That's right. I tried to show him the post and he didn't really want to look at it. And he said, my question should have been, should I get mad when he asks me to clean up after myself? And that I just
The answer would have been the same.
Yes. And that I just spent the whole post probably victimizing myself, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, Lord.
The only problem with what he's saying is that I do clean up after myself, just not on his timetable. Like if I make dinner, I'm not cleaning the kitchen till the next morning, and I'm not sweeping and mopping more than once in the morning. Once a day?
Once a day?
That's already like 14 times as much as we sweep and mop.
The only, like, for me, the dishes, I would be like, well, I want them done at night. That's
Yeah.
me. However, if she's cooking dinner, then he should be cleaning
He should be doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Again.
Yeah.
Also, guess what?
What?
You don't have to worry about the dishes, Sophia,
Why? What?
because I already did them.
What dishes?
The ones downstairs.
Those aren't my dishes.
Well, but you usually do all the dishes, so I did all the dishes.
Wow.
I know. I'm just helping you out.
Oh my God, Riley, you did all the dishes that weren't my dishes.
Yeah, but because you usually do all the dishes that aren't
Thank you,
yours, so I was
I
like,
appreciate it,
and I
Riley.
took the trash out. So I was like, you know
Okay,
what? Give
okay,
Sophia
that's
a break
good.
today.
That's good. That's
Woke
good.
up early.
Wow.
Mhm. And I'm not sweeping and mopping more than once in the morning as needed because the puppy isn't all the way house
They
trained
have
yet.
a pup. Oh, I forgot. They have a pig
And a
puppy.
pig. And
I
3
totally
kids.
forgot about that.
And she's 22 years old.
She's 22, taking care. What it sounds like is she's 22, taking care of 2 other kids that weren't hers originally.
Yes, a pig
A pig and a puppy
dog.
and a new baby.
Okay, you know what's also wild?
What?
50 years ago, this wasn't a problem.
That is true.
Isn't it crazy
and
how times have changed?
that is crazy.
For the better. For the better. For the better.
Crazy how these women have rights now, and you can't just get them pregnant.
Absolutely insane.
It's just crazy that women put up with this back in the day.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Also, Riley, you missed. She worked an 8-hour shift
Yeah.
before she went into labor.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's the thing. She was actively working, so it's not even like,
Contributing.
yeah, it's not even like, oh, she was gonna be a stay-at-home mom. No, she was actively working, and then he is making it so that she cannot go back to work.
Yeah.
He's actively making it impossible for her to go back to work.
It's just control and manipulation.
Yeah.
Like this
Just
guy is
because the Marines do this to you doesn't mean you have to do this to your wife, okay?
Literally, he's trying to keep her on Marine standards, and he's like, I am your commanding officer. And she's like, no, you're not. You're my husband.
Hey, buddy. How about you put the video game controller down and do a pull-up?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
You
your
fat piece of
commanding
crap.
officer was there, what do you think he'd think of you?
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. I've been working on mine.
Yeah, I know. I heard
That's
it
good.
the other day, and I was like, what is going on over there?
You are an influencer, and you influenced me. Okay. I've got Riley saying, "Oh God," in the
Oh,
mirror.
God.
The puppy isn't all the way house trained yet, and that's a problem for him
Oh, Lord.
because of his OCD. I can only be so understanding when he is taking a toll on my self-esteem and sanity.
Yeah.
I've been telling him for the last few days I want to leave him, but he just rationalizes and diffuses the situation enough to go right back to whatever the F he was doing before.
So she's like, I want to leave you. And he's like, actually, you don't.
Like, hey,
Don't want
let's
to do
let's
that.
sit down. Let's eat this delicious meal that you just made for us.
Yeah.
Make sure to clean up right after.
Yeah.
You
We'll
have to
talk
do that.
about this later.
You have to do that. Yeah. Let's sit down.
Yeah.
Me and the boys just running a new campaign on League
Yeah.
of Legends. You know,
Yeah.
it's about to go crazy. You don't want me to get away from the boys, do you?
No,
Absolutely
you
not.
wouldn't
Okay.
want that.
See ya.
And that happens every time she brings it up.
This is your face. I slapped it
Slapped it.
because you're
But you
stinky man.
deserve stinky man.
I'm gonna slap the stink right
alert.
at you. He straight up asked me what was wrong when he volunteered me to take 2 kids, an infant and a puppy, to the park after we ate and it was almost dark. And when I told him it's a lot, he just swept it under the rug and told me to basically get over it and I should be lucky to spend time with my kids. Guess what?
Yeah.
Hubby, you are so right. I have the opportunity of a lifetime to make you really lucky.
Wait on.
You take out all the kids and the puppy and everyone to the park right now. Congratulations.
Whoa, that's a little too crazy.
No, you're so lucky. You're so lucky, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about how overstimulated I get sometimes. I spent Easter alone today and all I really did was sleep. And it felt nice. God, this is tragic. I have been so exhausted with everything, but he didn't want to read the post. My God.
He commissioned this post.
Yeah, he literally asked for it. So we have some relevant updates, some relevant comments to close us out here.
Yeah.
But Sophia, yeah, let's get down to brass tacks here. We know she should divorce and leave.
Yeah, we know that.
Got that.
This is easy.
But he keeps like every time she goes to say it, he keeps like diffusing the situation. Like, what specifically? What should we do? Getting down to brass tacks.
Go to a lawyer if you can, if you have the funds.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
if you don't,
it's probably pro bono.
Yeah, pro bono lawyer. Yeah. If you don't, also you could go to like any family or friends that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to them. Try and get those divorce papers. Just serve it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have any family or friends, take the kids. Go stay with them.
Yes.
Again, that might be an issue because he might be like, "Oh, she took the kids" or something. But
true. Yeah. I think. Maybe talk to the lawyer and see what. Yeah. Because I think you 1,000% should get child support.
Yes.
The maximum amount, whatever is legal. I don't know, but like get as much child support as you can because you deserve it. And number 2, absolutely leave the situation. And it seems like it hasn't been explicitly stated, but it seems like she would want full custody. I think
so.
So get that if you want that.
Yeah.
Maybe that takes more sitting down and thinking. But at a bare minimum, full child support.
Yes.
I would totally go to court for full child support.
Easy. Yeah.
And maybe even start like recording some of the interactions that's going on. To like just like
anything
record
that
some
he's
voice memos
saying
or
to
something.
you.
Yeah. Like when he's like, "Oh, go take the kids to the park," and then be like, "You do it," and then he's like, "No."
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. It's easy. You'll collect 10 pieces of evidence in an hour.
In an hour, he's giving it to you.
But Sophia,
what?
We have some top comments.
No.
Yes, that's right.
No.
Don't do it. Jasper John says he definitely wanted to read the other post.
Yeah.
He was the one suggesting you post here. Somehow he changed his mind when he realized that all of the replies were in your
against
favor.
him. Mm-hmm.
My reply in the other post was, "Your husband is horrible. I stand by that. I feel terribly for you. You're treated like a slave and he does not care for you at all. Even if he did read every reply in the original post, he would just dismiss any that differed from his worldview." Ugh, that would be all of them.
Yeah.
Because he is so convinced of his superiority and self-righteousness. I agree.
Yep.
Ned Stark Raving Mad says, "OP, your update essentially states that your controlling, overbearing husband, and father of your child.
Husband who is a dad.
Yes.
Not to you.
Yes. No, that's not this story today, ladies and gentlemen. That's for another day.
Yikes.
And with the brother uncles. Remains controlling and overbearing even after you try to talk to him again. I don't know how he can be any clearer about not caring about you or your feelings, but only caring about what you can do for him. Please leave for your own good." And Just Rent says he won't take you serious because you need to take actions and not just tell him you want to leave him. But for that, you need a lawyer and a plan you can stick with. You got great answers in your last post, but now I think you need to make things happen. I don't think he will change for the better, and I think leaving him is the best option for you and your child.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we haven't got enough info about these other 2 children.
Literally, it was mentioned so
briefly.
Like I'm almost unconfident in saying that they're actually there because
now I'm thinking maybe they don't exist at all.
maybe
That was a typo.
maybe it was a typo. Also, possibly the mother of those children has custody most of the time. And she was talking about the instances where when they are at the house, maybe the weekends or something like that.
Sure.
So, but for the matter at hand that OP discussed, which is her getting away, as we said, leave, contact a lawyer, serve the divorce papers. No, like I love that because there's no if, ands, or buts. It's
not
divorce.
like I want to be separated. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, it's just here we're getting a divorce.
This is it. There is no further discussion. But Sophia, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to stop discussing right now. Is there anything we can do to keep
we're
this,
done. This is over.
It's done?
It's done.
There's nothing.
Just kidding.
Oh, yay.
I'm going to read you another story, whether you like it or not.
Yay.
Real quick, though.
What?
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so
How about gender roles, right? I forgot.
about gender roles.
Here
okay?
we go.
Okay. Gender roles at the end of the day is how you split up chores. It's all communication based. That's what I believe. You guys believe in gender equality, right?
Gender equity.
Equity?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I was on social media the other day and I saw that this girl, she's in Texas, she was looking for a part-time boyfriend on social media.
A part-time boyfriend?
Yes, to help her clean the house, and he will get rent for free because she's a girl boss. She doesn't have time to clean the house. How do you guys feel about that?
Wait, she's just looking for a cleaner?
You be my part-time boyfriend. You live at my house and you clean.
Wait.
It's weird, but
Wait. But she wants the boyfriend duties as well?
She just says she's looking for a part-time
What does
boyfriend to help clean around the house.
part-time boyfriend mean?
That's just what she said. A part-time boyfriend.
Are we sure this wasn't satire?
I can never.
Riley.
No, she seemed genuine, perhaps.
She
Fuck, I
maybe
can never-
seemed possibly like she was telling the truth.
But here, let's assume.
just assume.
Yeah,
Let's
let's assume
this
in
is
this
real.
world this is real.
This just happened.
I mean, yeah, it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Cuckoo?
Yeah, it's cuckoo for Cocoa
That's
Puffs.
crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Not because she wants a guy to do the chores, but because she's online asking for a part-time boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And asking for
For someone
of the
who's
room.
specifically, I feel like she just needs to get a cleaner.
Yeah. If you want to get into it, if there was a couple that lived together and the girlfriend was like always like never cleaning and doing whatever, the guy's like cooking and doing all this stuff, and like it's kind of like this scenario but kind of reversed, then yeah, the girlfriend should they should sit down and have a conversation like, okay, how can we equitably split these responsibilities?
Yeah.
Facts.
So you get your time for rest and, get some stuff done for the household. I get some time for rest. It's truly all about just like
Communication.
Communicating. figuring out a good setup, like real world example. Okay. My girlfriend is not a fan of cleaning the bathrooms. I am all about cleaning toilets.
Wow.
Because I used to clog them like crazy.
Aw.
I'm very comfortable with toilets. So I will clean the toilet all day long. I just did a deep clean of the bathroom.
Nice.
Whoa.
Look at you go.
And she
That's a man.
That's a
guys.
man right there.
That's a man right there.
and she has been wanting to clean the fridge for a while. So we were like, hey, I'll deep clean the bathroom. You do the fridge. And then when I finished, I came and I helped her finish up the fridge because I finished a little early.
Wow.
Done.
Communication.
Boom.
Simple.
The 3 C's of a relationship: communication,
Ooh.
cuddling,
Yep.
coitus.
Coitus.
Wasn't expecting that, but I stand by it. All right, Sophia, what have you got for us?
I got a story to tell.
I got a story for you.
I got a
for you.
story. Am I the a-hole for wanting a divorce because my husband insisted that my boobs were fake?
Sir, that is a bold claim, and you need bold evidence.
You need proof to back that up.
You need some bold evidence for that.
You
pal.
can't just be going around saying those things.
Oh my gosh.
So, Kitchen General 8618 says, I, 30 female, do have very large boobs. A 38G to be specific.
How big is that?
Pretty big.
Give me a fruit.
I don't know if there's a fruit large enough to describe.
Watermelons?
Bigger than watermelons, right? I think so.
Watermelons.
Or
Probably.
maybe watermelon. Close.
Wow.
Oh, G
Probably
gives more
close.
than G.
Yeah, G.
Dude, that's a lot of weight. Oh.
Yeah. Back hurts.
Back pains.
I've been with my husband, 33 male, for about 10 years, and while we have no children together, we're happy. Recently, he's been checking out my body more than before. And I don't mean in a let me take you to bed kind of way. It's more of a what could you be hiding kind of way.
Oh, God. Bro.
He's looking at her like,
He's got like a
he has a magnifying glass and like a little pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I am by no means skinny. I'm 5'5" and 180 pounds, nowhere near as good as I could be, but I don't really have any motivation and don't care as long as I don't look like I haven't showered in months and choose to be like that. Now, I have a multitude of scars on my body, and my husband noticed. One is under my armpit, which I got from running up the stairs with my friend and scraping it against the corner of the railing in my old house. The second one, I'm not even sure where it came from. It's thin though, so I'd assume from a childhood cat, but it goes down my side about 4 inches and on my ribcage. My husband's been getting into more shows about spouses lying to their partners about things, which I do enjoy watching myself.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no. I know exactly where this is
no.
going. I see you in the comments.
Put an ICU there.
How could you watch a show about that though and enjoy it?
About
people talking about people cheating and relationship issues.
People like those.
Indirectly.
I don't-
Technically, yes. I've watched hours and hours and hours of episodes of those types of shows where those shenanigans are going on.
Wow.
Shenanigans.
With my girlfriend.
Shenaners.
Yes.
Insightful.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I want more insight on this story.
I'm so lost.
Imagine like working on a show like that just talk about cheating and relationship issues.
Okay.
That took
It's
us both
entertaining.
so long.
It's entertaining. It's a
Good.
good time.
Let's
Thanks,
get
Riley.
back to the story.
Let's do it.
My husband randomly, came up to me and started feeling up my boobs, which isn't out of the ordinary, but still random. I asked him what he was doing, and he said, "How could you lie to me like that?"
Bruh.
I asked about what, and he said, "My boobs."
My boobs.
I said, "My boobs are real. What are you talking about?" He said, "No, they're not. And that you have those scars by your boobs, and they clearly show you have a boob job."
Oh my.
I told him that's not how it works, and usually they cut under the boob for that. He said, "They cut on the side as well, and you're a liar for not telling me."
Oh my God.
I told him I wasn't lying and that he was being weird. Cue an argument about them, and I left with their cats to my friend's house, the exact friend I gotten hurt with. I explained what happened to her, and she called my husband and yelled at him. His mother also yelled at him for that, but his dad is on his side. Yikes. Makes sense where he gets it from. After I agreed to come back home, he said he'd forgive me if I just admit that they were fake.
What are you talking about?
This guy's crazy. I told him that they weren't and that you'd seen me when I was skinny and could tell it was because of my weight gain. He brought up the time I had to go to my home state and stayed for 6 months because of my grandmother who sadly passed away. My family does eat a lot of fattening foods, and when I left for home, I was 125, and when I came back, I was almost 150. Those eating habits transferred over to my home life, and I never really got back into my healthy eating lifestyle. He continued to pester me about my boobs, and so I told him I wanted a divorce.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Or separation, at least. He backpedaled and begged me not to, but I made up my mind. He called me numerous times after I'd left for a week, crying and begging me to come home. I told him no, and that if he couldn't leave it alone, I wouldn't come back. He started throwing insulting names at me, to which I hung up. Now his friend and girl best friend are calling me an a-hole for wanting to divorce over a simple issue. So am I the a-hole? And there are 2 top comments, actually 3 top comments, and an update. What are your thoughts on this?
The husband is an absolute idiot.
Yeah. So stupid mentally and also in his ability to communicate.
Indeed.
Emotionally and mentally, this man is stupid.
I would maybe sit down with him and try to be like, why?
Yeah. One,
Like-
why do you think that? Two, like, what is your issue with boob jobs?
Yeah.
Three, where are you getting your information from?
And also see like, hey, imagine if the roles were reversed and it's true that I did not get a boob job. Like, how would you feel? You know, and like kind of see gauge his response to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just getting the sense that maybe it was kind of similar to the first story where OP was like, he wasn't always like this. Like now he's like a different person or whatever.
Yeah. It seems like this came kind of out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, they've been together 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like it could be leading to divorce territory. But first, I would want to sit down and just like understand and see if he has like why is he going insane? Like,
Yeah.
is this man literally losing his mind?
Very strange. It seems like he is. But let's get into some of these top comments.
Let's do it.
Spider389 says, he's been with you 10 years. Why is he now asking if they're fake? And then Lonely Octopus 24 says his dad sided with him. Mother of Christ, the stupid apple doesn't fall far from the stupid tree.
Or the orange.
Or the orange. Magdavis says, simple issue. First, he calls you a liar, then doubles down and refuses to listen to your friend and demands you apologize. This guy isn't worthy of your boobs, not the a-hole.
That's right.
So true. Get a man worthy of your boobs.
Talk
Facts.
that talk.
And there is an update. And I feel like before we get into it, it's very obvious. Yeah, as you said, this guy is an a-hole. And all the friends, to that commenter's point, all of the friends saying like, oh, you're the a-hole because this is such a small thing. It's not. He's accused her of lying. When she said, I'm not lying, he said, I will only forgive you if you apologize for lying.
Yeah.
So he refuses to see reason, refuses to trust his wife.
It's completely illogical.
Completely.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. But there is an update.
Oh.
I just want to say thank you for all the support from the messages and the comments, but the amount of people asking to see my boobs is pretty concerning.
Yikes.
Reddit.
All the red pill guys are like, but I have to see what he's talking about.
But you don't understand because maybe we need evidence.
They're,
you know?
they're like, prove it.
No way they're that big.
Nice incel voice.
Along with the two asking to date me or wanting to take me out. But again, thank you for the offer. And to clear something up, when I posted this, I'd already been with my friend for 3 days. So it hasn't been that long, and I decided to go back home to really talk it out since someone said someone may be saying something to him. I talked to him about it, and his answers constantly changed from no one made him think that to I'd seen something that said they're making implants that feel more real, which I've never seen anything saying they were, to finally telling me the truth, which was his coworkers were telling him.
Coworkers.
What pictures have they seen?
I think these coworkers are going to the same places that Riley is going to find all of his conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're sending those little videos out, the fake news article videos, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is real."
Boob implants disguised to be real.
Boob implants that look and feel and are just like real boobs.
Is your wife lying to you?
I don't
Here's to
follow
tell
conspiracy
how.
theories. I just think they're funny. I don't do that anymore.
Right.
Anymore. I asked him how he could think that knowing he's seen my body change, and he said he didn't know. He showed me the picture of us. He showed his coworkers where I was wearing a waist trainer and a bodycon dress. While you could still tell I had some weight in my stomach, but still a lot in my boobs. I rolled my eyes as I set the picture down and stared at him. He eventually told me that his coworkers were telling him so much that they were fake, and when he mentioned my scars, it just caused him to believe it more. I said, so you'd believe your coworkers who you've known for 6 months and know how they act around women over your wife of 10 years?
Yes.
He eventually broke down crying, which was pretty uncomfortable. But then he said he'd do anything to make me forgive him. Yeah, you look like a loser.
Literally so pathetic.
Yeah, you've already like been screaming at your wife that she's, fake and blah, 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 and lying. And now you're, doing this.
And like, if they were fake, why the big deal?
No, that's what I'm saying. Why was it such an issue?
He like attacked her.
Yeah.
He's like, I caught you. And it's like, caught me with what?
Like, what is your issue? If they look fine, why are you making a problem about it?
If she did get a boob job, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Like if John's thing got bigger, I'm not complaining.
As HR, I'm going to have to file
Riley, you're banned from analogies for the rest of this episode, okay? You're on analogy timeout.
Analogy time.
For the rest of
Ouch. Throw another orange at him.
Wait, I need my boy. I need Sam here. He'd back me up.
Oh my God.
No, Sam.
Lord Almighty.
Oh.
I asked him why he would still think that about me after feeling them. And he said because he didn't want to admit he was wrong.
Then why accuse her in the first place?
Facts.
And have me hang it over his head. I will admit I've done that a few times, like when he bleached his whole load by mistake because there were 2 white shirts in the load and he thought adding bleach would be fine. And another time he was messing with the cats after they healed from being neutered and were spraying everywhere. Not a fun 6 months and got sprayed in the face. So both times he was stupid and she was probably like, that was stupid. Why did you do that?
This guy's an idiot.
Yes.
So what
Correct.
I'm learning here is this guy's not smart. I told him that I wanted him to find a new job and couples therapy like some of you had suggested. He agreed immediately and began drafting his 2 weeks notice. We both make enough and have enough saved to go without jobs for at least a month and a half since we have separate finances and a joint account for bills. We both make over $100K a year with me in human resources and my husband working in medical. So when my husband had an office party for one of the boss's birthdays, I wanted to talk to the coworkers who told him what they thought.
Ooh.
Do they work at the same place?
Let's go.
Is she
Imagine.
HR at their...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that would have came up.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
When I saw them, I was personally not that shocked. They were decently in shape men, but still not as good as they could have been, with beautiful wives who've clearly had work done. Nothing crazy, just filler and Botox. While my husband was giving his notice to his boss, not the one whose birthday it was, I went to talk to them and their wives. Their wives were shocked at their husbands and what they had said about me, and began to quietly chew into them about that, since I assumed they were the reasons the wives got some work done. I could be wrong though, but still, my husband and I enjoyed the rest of the party and went home. The next day, my husband was pestering me to go into work. I'm able to work from home or in the building, so I agreed after some questioning and went in. When I came home, he was nowhere to be found. But what do you think happened?
He's cheating?
Ooh.
The entire apartment was deep cleaned. Like
Okay.
I'd been wanting it to be. Lunch
Okay.
was made, and all the cat appliances like litter boxes, food, and water bowls, and cat stand had been deeply cleaned as well.
Oh, snap.
After about 20 minutes of me looking around, my husband came home. He was a little upset I'd come home earlier than he wanted since the carpet wasn't completely dry. He'd cleaned it with a rug cleaner like I'd wanted. He'd made my favorite food that my grandma had made since after the funeral I'd inherited her cookbook and some money. My husband then gave me a few of my favorite flowers, which are hibiscus flowers, and a small handwritten note. He used to do it all the time in college and when I did an exchange program in Brazil for fun. It was a full apology saying how sorry he was and that he should have known to distance himself from his coworkers
There we
and
go.
should have stopped them from talking about me in a bad light.
Thank you.
There's more to the story, but I'm glad that he's at least in part taking some responsibility.
It seems like it is starting to get through his thick skull.
Yeah.
What do you got, Riley?
Is this love bombing?
Ooh. It could be. It could be. I think it depends on how it goes in the future. I feel like you can't necessarily tell love bombing right away.
It could, because
after the first instance.
This could be two things. It could be him genuinely being like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. My wife just put up with all my idiotness. Let me give her a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
And then that's great. It also could be like, let me just like try to get back in her good graces right now and just like do all this stuff. And then
and not make any actual
and then I can
change.
be a slob.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Emotional slobs. I smiled and thanked him for the flowers and continued eating. After I'd finished, he'd cleaned the kitchen for me and took me upstairs and ran a bath for me and picked out some comfy clothes for me and gave me a full body massage.
Whoa.
Which did not, without it ending in sex. That's so sweet.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doing
Later,
it.
that's so nice that she's like, and he didn't even try to have sex with me.
That's right. He didn't even touch my boobies.
Later, after he'd taken me out to dinner and paid for it all. He always does, but it's still good to mention. And when we gotten home, we did end up having sex, but it was better than usual.
Oh, snap.
All focus on me instead of the both of us. I didn't have to get. Oh, okay. I didn't have. Should I alter this?
No, keep reading.
Okay, I didn't have to give head, and after.
Oh.
This seems like I was gonna say, oh, this is kind of raising the bar, but no. This just seems like the bar is so low. Like I didn't even have to do that.
Right.
And after I was completely satisfied, the act was over, even if he didn't finish. After that, he cleaned me up and got me something to drink. I asked him why his aftercare was different than usual. It was usually a kiss and cuddling. He then said that he wanted to do more in order for me to forgive him. He then gave me an even longer apology, saying that even after all of this, I don't have to forgive him. And he knows he was being stupid for not admitting he was wrong and not backing down, but he'd do anything to get me to not divorce him, even if it meant being a stay-at-home husband. I laughed, since he was usually the one wanting to be the breadwinner and wanting me to be a stay-at-home wife, which is why I work from home for the most part, so I can still have my own money. I told him that I do forgive him, and as long as he finds another job and we get therapy, it was fine, and I wouldn't divorce or separate.
Wow.
He continuously thanked me and said he thought I'd never forgive him. I said I thought I was being a little overdramatic when I said a divorce, but it's fine. I didn't mention my post on what to do, and we were happy again. Our therapy session is scheduled in the next few weeks, and we're bringing the cats back home soon.
Aw.
Thank you again to everyone who gave me advice and did say I was doing a little too much by wanting a divorce. I hope you're all good. And there are 2 top comments to finish us off.
Let's close it out.
Cynical and see that whole thing as love bombing, as Riley said.
Mhm.
But I genuinely hope the future goes well for you, OP. And J Shot Boxing says, oh, I'm glad he's taking accountability and admitting that he was in the wrong. The only thing I'm still thrown off about is the fact that he called you names and berated you when you mentioned a divorce. I really hope that doesn't become a habit and come into future arguments, because that can turn into verbal abuse. I'm glad you guys are doing okay right now, though. And that is the end of the story.
That is the end. Wow.
Yeah.
Real quick, there was one part I wanted to discuss.
Yes, let's discuss it.
Which was he left the job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, couldn't we go to the HR and report these 3 guys?
Well, that's what I was
Ooh.
thinking for commenting. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They were commenting to the point like it's already bad if
Yeah.
they're like, oh man, like maybe she's got some things up going on. It's
Yeah.
even worse for them to be like, dude, you need to confront her about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This is
No,
What?
it's very strange. That's a very strange. I mean,
Get him
it seems
outta
like he
here.
was showing them pictures, which is also, I don't know.
yeah.
Unless they were just pictures of him like with his wife. He's like, this is my wife.
Yeah, like, oh, we went to a barbecue last weekend.
Yeah.
Here's how fun it
but
was.
the
Blah, blah, blah.
fact that if it was those type, they're at a barbecue or
Yeah.
whatever, and they were like, she's got a boob job.
Yeah.
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 Like,
Crazy.
I'm sorry, did you zoom in on them?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, go back to the
Go
one where she was in it.
back. Zoom
Hold
in a
on,
little bit.
hold
Oh, yep. She
Yeah.
got a boob job.
on. Hold on, wait. I think I need to study this one a little bit more deeply for my full assessment. Yeah, like absolutely crazy.
So strange.
And I think that they, one, deserve the punishment, and
Yeah.
2, like, like obviously OP is an absolute freaking idiot for doing what he did as far as
You
like
mean OP's
accusing her.
husband?
OP's husband. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Yeah, OP's husband. But they, I think that OP should stay at the job because, like, professionally speaking, they were the ones that did this in the professional context, and I think.
Wait, OP's husband should stay at the job? Or
OP's husband should report them.
Yes.
Because they were the ones that said this, like, in a, work relationship environment.
Yeah, but he would probably get in trouble because he probably was also saying stuff like that. I feel like that doesn't just come up unless they're, in conversation.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they could, like, basically turn
Flip
around and
it
snitch on
around.
him, basically.
Yeah.
True. And, like, I mean, they are financially okay, so it ultimately is kind of inconsequential. But
and that also might be like the work environment there. It might be like a very like
if it's a boys club,
yeah.
And then if like him reporting that would actually make it worse for him, and they're like, "Yo, why are you ratting on?"
Yeah,
the
So
boys?
maybe just in this circumstance, just leaving is the best.
Could be
Trying to find a more healthy environment.
Could be
where the coworkers don't comment on your wife's body.
That would be a good work environment to be in.
Yeah.
But on the husband's apologies, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, okay. I understood why she initially wanted to get divorced. I don't think it was like crazy because he literally would refuse to listen to her, refuse to believe her. However, I do think it seems like he's actually trying to make an effort to apologize.
Yeah.
And it's not just the apologies. They're also going to like therapy.
Yes.
So I feel like all the right steps are being taken. It very quickly could become a situation where, he's love bombing her or he'll go back to his old habits. So I feel like that's just something you have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, it's a good sign. Ultimately, it is the consistency.
Yes.
In a year from now, how has that last year looked and where are you at that point? That I think is the big.
Yeah, it's a good sign, but will it lead you to your destination?
That is the question. That is truly the question. But Sophia, we are not divorced from this episode.
No.
Because we have one more story to engage in.
Lay it on me.
All right.
I'm divorcing my husband to have more me time. Am I the asshole?
Hey, wife. Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Forever.
My husband, 40 male, and I, 39 female, have been married for 12 years. Together for 13. We are in a wonderful marriage overall. However, I typically end up with the brunt of the housework. Cooking, errands, laundry, an early morning wake up with the youngest of our 2 boys, 6 male and 13 male, even on Saturdays and Sundays.
Dang, no days off over here.
No days off. I also spend a lot of time cleaning up behind my husband because he forgets to do things. Because of this, I usually end up with almost no free time, and I never get to be the one who sleeps in. A lot of things he forgets are small things like leaving shoes in the walkway, or leaving the lint from the lint trap on the top dryer instead of throwing it away, or continuing to put trash in an already full trash can, which I'm doing currently. I need to take out the trash.
Bad Sam.
Use glasses left out instead of brought to the sink. Use wash rags left out on the shower floor, etc. Man is a sloth. It sounds petty, but over time, all these little things are a lot of time out of my life cleaning up after a grown up, when I'm already cleaning up after 2 non-grown ups. I own a business and am working on my degree on top of all of this, so I have very little spare time as it is.
Damn. Wow. Jeez. That's so much.
Wow. He, on the other hand, works from home and is able to sleep in, take nap breaks, play video games on his lunch break, and even takes an hour or 2 every evening while I study to play video games again to decompress. Fucking lame, dude.
Right?
Anyway, he does give me time to go to the gym or run, but I've been skipping it more and more to try to keep up with the mess and chores at home. When I bring it up, he says I'm being unfair because I'm focusing on the few times he forgets to pick up after himself, and I'm not seeing all the other things he does. He does clean up after himself about 50% of the time, depending on what it is, but some things he legitimately never does, like leaving lint on the dryer or throwing away used toilet paper rolls. He also suffers from a sleep disorder, which can make a person feel foggy sometimes. He says I should be more compassionate with him and accept this is part of loving someone with a chronic illness. I don't sleep enough, so I couldn't possibly pick up after myself. The truth is that I do understand what chronic illness is like, and I do have compassion. I myself have been living with chronic pain and fatigue for years, and finally undergoing the diagnostic and treatment process for lupus and RA. Riley, what's RA?
It's like rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic, long-lasting autoimmune
Rheumatoid
disease
arthritis.
that affects joints. Yeah.
Bro.
Yep. Yeah. It can get really
That's
bad
a lot.
later in life too. I'm always in pain and constantly exhausted, but I muscle through and maintain a reasonable level of order and sanitation in my home because that's what adults do for their kids. I don't have the luxury to forget to do the important things like laundry, dishes, or cleaning because then no one else does it. He also says I have an unreasonably high standard of cleanliness. Really, I feel like not wanting to leave urine stains around the base of the toilet or leaving used dishes and food on counters in an area notorious for roaches is not having high standards. I feel like his standards are lower than the average adult, as most people would find that pretty gross.
Babe, I'm friends with the roaches. I want them to like me.
I want them to love me. They are my family. One of my things my journey through AID has taught me is to learn to say no. What's AID? AID? It's not AIDS.
Autoimmune disorder?
Oh, yeah. Although I love my husband and best friend dearly, I don't see this ever changing unless he is literally forced. I am starting to feel like taking myself out of the equation is the best option to maintain my own sanity by having one less person to clean up after and find some much needed downtime through shared custody. So she's thinking divorce.
Yeah.
Even if he only had the kids for one day a week, I feel like custody sharing might force him to hold himself to a reasonable standard of hygiene and cleanliness too. I definitely enable his laziness out of necessity to meet basic, safe levels of cleanliness. Without me there, he'd have to learn to be consistent or risk losing visitation. This is the only complaint within the marriage. We really do love each other and care for each other, and he's emotionally very kind and supportive. I love him very much, but would I be the asshole for divorcing over this? And there is a big juicy update and a little bit more info. But what do you think, John? Is OP the asshole for thinking about divorce?
I got some thoughts. So something we've actually brought up on the show before is like, oh, well, what about, if you have a 2-income household, have a lot of income, maybe hiring like someone to help with like the chores, cleaning the house, like etc.
Yeah.
However, in this case, I think it's more of like, it's not like both of them are trying to keep up and they're like just getting stressed over and like, let's just like take the load off of both of us. It really seems like OP's husband is not acknowledging all of the effort and work that OP's putting into, despite the massive amount of stuff that she has on her own plate. So I don't know that, while sometimes I think that's a great solution, I don't know that it works here. And it's really him just not respecting her at the end of the day.
I wonder if like a half measure is like going on a vacation for a week or like staying with her family for a week and say like, hey, I want you to like take care of the house for a week and see what it actually means to do that.
Yeah, I like that.
I want to come back to this house and it actually be like spotless.
I agree. I think it's a great idea.
Let's see. So here's some update on the info. Yes, we have talked about it a lot. We have the same fight at least once every other week for over a decade. We tried counseling, nothing changed. Even after our therapist told him that even though he was loving and supportive, resentment was a marriage killer, she suggested a maid service. He does not want to spend money on a cleaning service. I would love to have weekly cleanings. I was able to talk him into a 1 cleaning per month. I'm working on increasing my earning potential so I can afford it myself. Yes, he does have diagnosed ADHD. I feel like this is a potential explanation, not excuse thing though. And 5, I know divorce is expensive, but I have a very supportive family and I'm very close to expanding my business and attaining degrees that would allow me to be more autonomous. That being said, we care a lot about each other, parent well together, and have a lot that we've built together. Okay, and there's a big update, but like I think it's like if everything else is working well and you feel that this is the only thing standing in the way of a happy marriage and you want to make it work, you could just pay out of your own pocket for the maid service. It does feel like a red flag though that he's not willing to like listen to you. And I'm surprised that this wouldn't show up in other ways in the relationship.
It sounds like someone's not listening. Like, is he actually like observing and acknowledging like, yo, you're putting in like all of this work? It doesn't seem like that to me.
It just feels indicative of a larger relationship issue. Like if you're not able to work through this, then there might be something wrong. Yeah. Update. We fought about it. I ended up ugly crying, partially out of frustration and partially because I'd been up since 4:45 with the youngest. I told him that it was about lint on the washer and used toilet rolls on the sink, but not really. I said that I felt like he didn't listen nor care to try. We apologized, wrapped me up in a duvet, and left me to nap while he took over housework and kids. He is really sweet and does try. It's been nice to have a day off, but I'm still skeptical because this isn't the first time I've gotten to a point of walking away or being really upset. And he is extra nice for a while, only to go right back to being his old self in a few days. I guess we'll see. And here's another update. Where to even begin? Yikes. Ooh. First, I want to thank everyone who chimed in. It really helped me feel validated in my frustration and process it. So after the meltdown the day of the last post, he did as promised and took over the housework and kids for the day. However, as I feared, by the next day, he had returned to his old dismissive, chauvinistic self. He did zero housework. Yeah, that's actually a good point. It might be like a whole, I think among like an older generation, it's like, oh, housework, that's a womanly duty,
that 100%.
There might be a little sexism at play. He did zero housework for the rest of the week, and picking up the slack ended up putting me in a position of unpreparedness for a very important test due tomorrow. This is his usual MO. He puts in effort for just long enough to make me think he has changed, then he reverts. Starting Sunday, I reminded him frequently that I needed time to study. It's a math test and it's hard, so my plan was to study 2 hours per day and be prepared by Friday. This meant he would need to pick up at least a little slack, giving baths, reading bedtime stories, etc., so I could focus. Except it didn't happen, so I ended up using the time I needed to study to cook, clean, and do laundry. Now it's late on the eve of the test, and I've had all of 1 hour of study time. I'm exhausted, and I can't even fathom practicing proportions or quadratic equations right now. I broke down out of frustration and told him I couldn't handle it anymore. I run my business, bust my butt in school, and keep everything running. It's a major unfair burden, and I'm tired of trying to make him care. I asked him how it was that he could treat his female coworkers as equals and not extend that same respect to me. He admitted to being a hypocrite and stormed off to play video games. Right now, I'm contemplating taking incompletes for the semester so I can focus on my business and weather a messy divorce from a giant man baby. Relevant comments. So there's a little bit more answers in the course. I'm just going to run through this and then we can debrief. But random GUID, like for a weekend, you will have pests overrunning your home within a weekend if you prioritize your studies over cleaning, and your husband would happily allow your home to be overrun with pests. OP replied, because of the way my courses are structured, I have to study both some weeknights and on weekends. Yes, the home we bought is a century home being renovated in a neighborhood where roaches move in very quickly. Certain species live outdoors but come in at night if they smell food, and unless you live in a vacuum seal bubble, they find ways in, even through water pipes. Those are thumb-sized ones that jump and fly. We've managed thus far to avoid indoor dwelling varieties like German roaches through keeping counters and dishes clean, keeping laundry off the floor, and taking the trash out every night. So that's basically the context. That's where we stand. John, what do you think? Is this divorce worthy?
Yeah, I know we got a lot of people always wanted to do the divorce chant very early, but this is 10 years in. And I feel like OP is going through so much trying to get her degree and build her business and all this stuff. And just exactly like OP said, he'll do it for a few days just to kind of get her off his back and then go right back to his old ways. It's just spewing disrespect all over it to me.
Yeah, it definitely spews disrespect. At the same time, it feels small, but it's like, that's the thing about a small thing that you just don't address in a marriage is if you just don't address it, it becomes a big thing. And yes, it's like, oh, you're not, taking the toilet paper away, or not taking the lint away. You're not helping with the kids, all very small things. But I think what you said is correct. It's it's a pattern of disregard and disrespect that it seems like he just is unconcerned with addressing.
Yeah.
But it does suck that it does feel like it's small, but it's big at the same time,
Yeah, it's like if it was just the cleaning, it also maybe would be okay for maybe a month, a few months. But once it gets past that point, it's like she's also having to live in it and cleaning it. That to me over years, even the disrespect part aside, that to me is I do not want to continue living in this environment.
She's tried. She's given him enough chances, and
a lot.
Maybe instead of going straight to divorce, try a separation initially, because the divorce can be super
Yeah.
Like I feel like a separation might accomplish some of what you need, and then a divorce next. But I don't know that again, maybe you know now, maybe you know exactly what you want. But I would love to know if you guys think of this as divorce worthy. If your partner was consistently and constantly just not clean, is it something you would accept, or would you divorce over it? And it's like, the other thing is, I think you have to know what you're marrying to. Like, is this, has he just always been this way? Like, some people are just messy. Like, they just don't think about it, and nothing you can do can make them change that. And like, that's something you have to consider if you're okay with like getting married to that person. You know,
it sounds silly on the surface, but it's actually, you're living with this person. Like,
yeah, you're living with this person. You know,
big part of it.
This might not be a deal breaker for everyone. You know, some people might just be like, hey, so many other qualities, but super messy. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So it's just really like, would you deal with it? But I would love to know, would you deal with this husband if this guy was super messy? And also, do you have a messy partner? How have you dealt with having messy partners? Put your answers in the comments below. We'd love to hear it.
See you on the next one.
We're gonna get into this next story actually right now.
I told my husband, your job is easy because he's a stay-at-home dad. Now he's mad and wants to talk. Am I the a-hole?
Love a good stay-at-home dad.
The classic switcheroo. I am writing this from the guest bedroom.
Not a good bedroom to write anything from.
You guessed it, because my husband and I have had a fight. So, the thing is, my husband is a stay-at-home dad. 3 years ago, he wanted to quit his job and take care of the house and children, 6 female and 2 male. I work a decent job and earn most of the money. My husband takes pride in being a stay-at-home dad. He always brags about how it's the easiest job in the world, and women are just complaining for no reason. Wait. I thought we were going to go the other direction. Wait.
That's a funny take though.
I thought he was going to be like, I take pride, men never really, think about stay-at-home moms have been doing for like all these years.
Like, this shit's easy, bro. Try investment banking.
But the truth is, I help him with the chores as much as I can. In the morning, I wake up and fix the breakfast for them, and my husband gets our daughter ready for school. I also do meal preps for lunch. All he has to do is assemble them and cook it. Wow, so she's like teeing up the meals, I guess. That's
yeah. Well, that's why it's so easy.
Line.
He's doing it on easy mode, dude.
Right. I pack my and my daughter's lunch. When I'm at work, he does the cleaning and spends time with our son or does his thing. Beating my later when I come home, I cook dinner and give my son a bath. I help my daughter with her schoolwork, or I play with them for some time until bedtime. Besides that, whenever we do laundry, I fold the clothes that he washes and put them away.
It sounds like the responsibility is actually split pretty equally between household chores.
During the deep cleaning of our house, we split the tasks 50-50. I also handle all of the doctor's appointments.
So what? So is he's just doing half a job right now.
The system works really well, but I hate that he thinks my contribution is not enough. That he does all the chores and that I don't even lift a finger.
Wait, bro, you just said it was the easiest job in the world though.
Hold on. How is it the easiest job and she's not doing anything when she's doing 50%?
Yeah, it
the
sounds
same job
pretty
you're
evil.
doing.
It sounds pretty even, dude. I'm not following here.
Oh, this is great. Moreover, he has a blog and a TikTok where he films his days. Yo, can we get an @ Can we start some TikTok
everyone
beef
says
over
they
here?
have a TikTok, but they never give the @ dude. I want to know the @.
He also make posts about how easy it is to be a stay-at-home dad, and women just complain and are full of it.
This is so bad. Bro, I mean, one, you're doing it on easy mode. Your wife is helping with 50% of the things. It's like the worst take ever. Like, and also, I mean, it depends how many kids you have and like also what age they are too. So like, what a terrible take.
100%. Also, slight side note, I don't know, for me, like I've been living on my own almost 10 years. I'm just so used to like cleaning for myself, cooking for myself. It's like weird to have somebody else do it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I've always felt that way.
Yeah. But like, I think if you're absent-minded, it's just like, or yeah, in the last story, the guy was just like not even thinking about folding the clothes or putting away the shoes. And so like I had a roommate that would open up every single cabinet door that he used and never close it.
Apparently that's a thing.
It's such a thing. I fucking would hit my head on these doors and I'm like, Marcel, what the fuck? Close the cabinet doors.
Now there's an @ I'm glad he likes it, but I hate he thinks that he is superior to everyone and invalidating their experience. I grew up in a house where my dad didn't even lift a finger and my mom did literally everything around the house. He was the fun dad doing the bare minimum. So I do not want that to happen to my husband. Also, it is my house too. I believe if both people do chores, the stress becomes less. Also, I know many of my friends who struggle with doing chores as a stay-at-home mom. I also know women who work and still do the majority of the chores. And his comments make me irritated. Makes a lot of sense. So, yesterday, my friend Ashley came to visit. She is a mother of 2. Her son probably has ADHD and very much active. She has trouble handling her son and gets no help from her husband. Her son breaks a cup in our house. Ashley was saying sorry. My husband cleaned it up and she was complaining how exhausted she is. My husband scoffed and told her, "You must be doing the parenting thing wrong because I am the stay-at-home parent too, but I never had a problem. My wife barely does anything around the house and it is so easy."
Bro, what is
Maybe I
That's
should give
just
you a
like-
lesson or two.
not the thing to say when it's like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. Is like, bro, you suck.
Man, did you? Hey, I just want to make sure. Do you know you're terrible? Like, do you know
you're
how
terrible
awful
at
you
this
are?
whole parent thing? Like, it's
Yeah.
easy as shit, dude. Yeah, dude.
I can
what a
start writing out some ABCs if you want.
like,
Is that easy?
even if this was true, even if he was doing all the work, it is emotionally vapid and just dumb as fuck to like say that to someone who is struggling. Like, if someone was
Why?
struggling in school, it's like, oh man, like I'm like not doing well on tests. I wouldn't go. It's like, well, you must be an idiot because I'm getting A's. Like, you wouldn't say that because everyone struggles differently and does things differently. Like, you want to be an emotional support system, not someone who tears them down.
But what about letting idiots know they're idiots, Sam?
That's
What
true,
about
that's
that?
true. The Elon Musk way.
Now, I can see Ashley was upset. I understand why. Later that day, I told him what he said to Ashley was very rude. My husband acted as if he had said nothing wrong and was just honest.
It's so rude.
Bro,
Don't mask assholeness with honesty. You're just
Bro.
because you're being honest doesn't mean you're not an asshole.
I pointed out that he doesn't do all the chores. I help him with at least 40%. That's why he thinks it's easy. He again argued that those chores are not significant compared to what he does. I told him he was being mean to everyone. We got lucky that our kids are easy and not active.
Yeah, our kids just fucking sit around all day like a freaking potato.
Just a bunch of zombies just freaking zonked out. Most of the kids are hard to handle. He again scoffed and said, "How hard can it be?" Famous last words, buddy.
Dude, please just say, then do all the fucking chores. Like,
Please.
do them all.
Let it go. Let's see. We argued about this, and he told me I am being ungrateful because no man would ever sacrifice like he did. A true
You said it was
hero.
easy. What is it? Is it the easiest job in the world, or have you sacrificed a lot? Like, pick a side.
It's so easy, and I sacrifice everything. I'm such a hero. It's hard. It's hard for us heroes out here. I am upset and gave him some space. Was I wrong to point it out? There is an edit and an update. But where we are right now,
Oh, he's being a dick. He's being a massive dick.
yes. Yes.
Like it might be easy. You might be right. You know, he might think it's easy, or at least for his kids, but he's like, how he's acting is not emotionally intelligent at all.
Not at all. What I'm curious to everyone watching, and Sam, what do you think the solution is? Like, what should OP do to try to?
Stop doing any of the chores and see how he likes it.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, if your job is so easy and my chores are so insignificant, I'm just going to take a little pause on it.
Yeah,
You know, like you said,
yeah.
it's so easy. It's so
it
simple.
It seems like I'm a little stressed out. It seems like you could use more work. Let's make it a
Yeah.
little. Let's put this stay-at-home dad thing on easy mode. If it's so insignificant, the things that I'm doing, then you just do it.
Let's give you some significance, buddy.
But also,
All right.
I think like part of it is like just like hanging with kids. Like OP probably wants to read to the kids. Like that's something that she probably gets joy out of too.
Yeah, like OP wants to spend more time with the kids.
Yeah.
100%.
So like because there are certain like chores that are just like also just hanging with the kids that
Right.
she might want
Right.
to be involved in. So she
Yeah.
might not want to be like, oh, I'm not going to do this because she likes doing it too.
Ah,
But just
interesting point.
offload all the things you don't like doing to him. Bam.
Boom.
Problem solved.
Delegate it, baby. If it's so
Delegate.
insignificant, On to the edit and update. Just wanted to point out that I have no issues with him being a stay-at-home dad. I just don't like his attitude towards it and the way he thinks it's the easiest job in the world, because to me and most of the people, it is a job that has no vacation days.
I also do not like that attitude.
I also very much do not like that attitude. Okay. I took everyone's advice and drum roll, please.
Divorce.
I stopped working on all the chores.
Yeah.
Close
okay,
enough.
Sweet.
Close enough. I did tell him beforehand, since he thinks my contribution to the housework is nothing, then I will stop doing everything altogether.
That
Love
honestly,
that.
I think is a great solution, because if it's like, if you just think it's insignificant, then just do it. That'll
Easy.
take a load off me.
I told him since he thinks being a stay-at-home dad is easy, then he should have the full experience of it. My friend's husband doesn't even lift a finger around the house, so I wouldn't too. He was obviously upset. He wanted to argue I cannot do this to him. He even tried to pull the incompetence card. I told him I am not to do my portion of the job at home. I also gave the typical excuse, I work all day at my office so that we can survive on one income. It is selfish for him to expect me to do the housework. So I think kind of like she's taking that classic line and trying to flip it back on him. That's what I did. I didn't do any housework. I didn't wake up in the morning and make breakfast. My husband had to do it. It wasn't hard for him, but I can see he was moody. I don't want to make these stupid pancakes.
Maybe he's just gonna realize that him doing everything is also super easy to like.
Right? Yeah, he goes stronger. He's
Yeah.
like, I realized it's even easier of a job than I thought. Let the misogyny course through my veins.
I'm a freaking prodigy.
I asked him to prepare my lunch because that is also part of the job. He refused at first, but then I told him he will do all the household chores too. That includes my lunch as well. He only packed me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Damn, how passive aggressive, dude.
The minimum.
Better than just like a single banana,
Yeah.
I guess.
PB&J is pretty good though. I'm
It kinda
never
slaps.
gonna. Yeah. It slaps.
I didn't do meal prep for lunch. It was his to figure out. At night when I came home, I didn't make dinner. I asked him to do it. He was shocked, but did it anyways. I didn't give my son a bath. Our son was fussy, which pissed my husband off. I only helped my daughter with her homework. I didn't help him with the laundry. The first few days, he didn't say a word. But after a week, it was showing that he is getting exhausted. Here we go, baby.
Get fucked, dude.
Woo! He was getting more and more angry at small stuff, and usually cleaning would cool him off. But whenever he sees a mess, he throws a tantrum. In the weekends, I went to my mother's house to relax. That weekend, we were supposed to clean our bathrooms. He did that all by himself. As the days progressed, I could see him being really angry at me. Even I admit it affected our intimacy a lot. At last, after 2 weeks, he told me, basically yelled that I had proved my point.
Dang.
He caved.
Well, I'm glad that he finally got it through his thick fucking skull after
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Bro, come on.
It feels extremely stubborn. Like that's so stubborn. It took him 2 weeks for it to finally click.
Although, hey, you know what? He committed.
Yeah, he did
leaned
commit.
in. Now things are back to normal, but I can see he is very distant with me. Last night, I asked him to talk with me. He said he knew what game I was playing, but he did not appreciate me treating him like garbage and not considering his feelings. I told him it was his words that being a stay-at-home dad is easy. I just gave him the full experience of it. He kept denying that, and I should have been more supportive. All these weeks, he felt like nobody and so underappreciated. He felt invisible. He started to hate me for not giving an F and dumping everything on him. He's still not talking to me. We have booked a couple's therapy session next week.
Oh shit.
Let's
We've
see if
gotten
our
serious.
relationship sustains it or not.
Oh wow.
Oh man, it's looking dicier
That's fucking
Then-
dicey, dude.
we thought. Oh man. We have some quick comments and then a final piece of the story. Is alimony a thing where you come from? OP, we live in a no-fault state. That has nothing to do with whether or not alimony gets awarded. You'd best check that out. OP says, we don't have a prenup. He has been out of work for 3 years. Maybe I do have to pay his alimony, but I'm not sure. Is there any option where if he gets alimony, he has to find a job within a certain amount of time, otherwise his spousal support will be revoked? As he is a stay-at-home parent, he will likely get primary custody as it is seen as better for the kids consistency-wise. this. OP says, I'm not planning on divorce. I believe in our marriage. I'm hopeful we will go through with it. If divorce comes, I will be pushing for 50-50. And we have one final update.
Juicy update. Let's get to it.
This will probably be my last and final update. I wanted to let you guys know we are not getting a divorce like some of you hoped for and cursed me out in my personal messages. Come on, y'all.
Reddit, come on.
Hate that. Like, seriously, who wishes a stranger that their husbands should cheat on them? That's insane. We did go to counseling, and yes, I sincerely apologized for my childish behavior because of a Reddit post that I made. We discovered a lot of things about us and our relationship at the counseling sessions. Firstly, I apologized to him and explained why I did it. I wanted him to feel like it was not easy if you do not have help. I also mentioned my mother's experience in being the caretaker of the family, and doing it all alone is exhausting, which I think now is a stupid way to get my point across. But I was hurt and very annoyed that he thinks women just complain about housework when most of them, I am sure, don't have help from their spouses.
Yeah.
He expressed that
felt
he
like
gets it.
It was the only way that she could like get it across to him, though. That's
and you know, maybe there was some kind of like gloating or some like extra attitude on top of it that, you know, maybe was more disrespectful than it needed to be. But I think generally her intention was like, you say these are all easy, I will just let you do the chores.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like, see how easy it is.
pretty cut and dry,
Yeah.
honestly.
I don't know. I don't know if I see it as childish. Like, I see it as like more of like an experiment in empathy.
Only if she, you know, maybe made some extra comments and things that she wasn't being that forthcoming
Or maybe
with.
it's like, hey, like, maybe setting it as an experiment, like, hey, you think this is easy? Would you be down to do a 2-week experiment, just seeing what it's actually like?
Fair. But I mean, and while she didn't do that, she at least did give the heads up and basically the
Yeah.
reasoning of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, could have been a little better, but you know, come on.
I don't really fault her for that, honestly. I don't
think so either. He expressed that he gets it. And those few weeks when I didn't help him really took a toll on him. He doesn't get tired easily, but since he was doing all of it, it was tiring for him. I acknowledge that. After a lot of talking and communicating, we came to the root cause. He said that sometimes he feels insecure about himself. Okay, now we're getting to something, I feel like.
Get into the meat and potatoes.
Like he is not doing enough for us. All of his guy friends have jobs. They provide for their family. His friends bragged about taking his wife to a vacation in Greece. He felt small compared to that because he only made dinner and gave me a massage. On the other hand, I gifted him a very expensive watch. He felt like he was supposed to be the provider of the family, but feels really small because I am out here doing good in my career and he feels stuck. It was one of those moments that made me cry. I liked it when he made dinner for me and gave me a massage. He is a good cook. I asked him if he wants to go back in the workplace. If that's the case, he will have my full support.
Wow,
man.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's always good when the breakthrough comes and it's like he was just masking all of this stuff with all of this like anger and everything. That he was
Like
spewing.
the bravado of like, oh, this shit's so easy is like because he's insecure about where he is.
100%. I know things will change a lot. We both have to make compromises, but it will be worth it because I love him and he is the best husband anyone can ask for. He says he doesn't want to handle the pressure of the workplace. Last time he crashed and decided to quit. He likes being a stay-at-home dad, but also wants to earn. So he's going to look for a part-time job while doing what we used to do. I encouraged him to look into freelancing and remote work. He did find one, but it's low paying, so the search for a decent job is still on the hunt. And he did apologize to my friend Ashley. He realized not everyone has it easy. I mean, we hit the jackpot with the kids because they are pretty quiet. People have different struggles, and I know he is sincere because he deleted his blog post about being a stay-at-home dad being easy. Okay.
Wow.
He's really turning a new leaf here, I
He's
think.
turning around.
Also, unrelated, Ashley is getting a divorce. All right, divorce chainers, you got something, I guess.
Divorce.
Oh, no. Woo-hoo! Good for her, I guess. We are fine. Our children are fine. We still have one more session for therapy left. Our intimate lives are better, and we found a better way to communicate with each other rather than being petty. I was scared that our marriage will collapse, but I am glad we stood strong.
Wow.
I love that.
That's
I love
awesome that we got to like a really strong place at the end.
Yes.
And it seems like the relationship is even stronger than it began. Like, I think it's always interesting when you have a fight in a relationship and there's like this critical moment of it could either go so wrong or so right. And if you just push through it in the right way, it can make the relationship stronger at the end.
100%. It makes that ending that much sweeter. You know what I mean? And that much more powerful that they've built the relationship back from where it was so far away.
Yeah. And also, like, you know, she said that like I actually feel like that experiment needed to happen for him to truly understand. Like, I don't think just talking about it would have done the job, you know?
Yeah, I don't know like what exactly the like childish behavior it was, other than my guess of like her having him do the chores. But I think I really think it was necessary for like he finally truly understood.
But let us know what you think of this situation. Like, do you think being a stay-at-home parent is easy? First off, why or why not? And what do you know about like, I guess, like stay-at-home dads, any stay-at-home dads watching? Like, what does that feel like for you? Because it's, I think, I feel like there's often a not a social demand, but like the social default is like women are the stay-at-home parent. Obviously that's changing a lot. And so I'm wondering what it feels like to be a stay-at-home dad, or what you guys have heard of what that feels like. Please put your answer in the comments. We'd love to hear it. How do I, male 40, tell my kids, female 12, 15, 17, that my infidelity is the reason for the divorce? This is OKOP, home of the crazy stories on earth. I'm Sam. John. Sophia, how does OP tell this terrible news?
Goes to the kids and says, my infidelity is the reason for the divorce.
Yeah, I feel like
And
that's
here's
how
the
you do
video.
Oh, God.
All right. So this original post happened December 28th, 2023. So not that long ago.
Not too long ago.
I'm here for genuine advice, looking especially for advice from people who have been the child in the situation. I know I screwed up. I don't need anyone to tell me again. 2 years ago, my ex-wife, female 40, found out I had been cheating with my current girlfriend, female 29, and immediately divorced me. We had a very civil split and both agreed not to tell our girls about what led to it. A year ago, my girlfriend and I started renting walking distance from my ex-wife. This has muddled our 50-50 custody agreement, as my girls sometimes come over while on their mom's week and sometimes go to their mom's on my week. They basically come and go as they please from both homes, but generally sleep at the custodial parent's house. So they have that split 50-50 custody, but it's not like you can only stay with me during this time period.
Yeah.
They want it to be cordial. My girlfriend has recently taken issue with this. She doesn't like that they come over without asking and that we get no kid-free time.
She's got to deal with it. He's a parent.
Yeah, dude.
If you can't handle the heat, don't date a married man.
If you break it, you buy it, you know, and you buy all the pieces that come with it, including the kids.
If you mess up the bed, you got to sleep in it.
Oh, yeah.
How many more do we got?
She asked me to enforce a boundary with the girls, that they cannot come over on their mom's weeks unless we explicitly invite them.
Ew.
Just get rid of those kids.
Imagine going to the kids. Hey, scram!
What are you doing here? Out of here.
I told her, okay, I try to talk to the kids and make sure they know they're not welcome.
Whoa.
Just kidding. I told her absolutely not.
Yeah, thank you.
I pay 100% of her living expenses, and I'm not going to make my girls feel unwelcome in a house I pay for. She then made a comment that maybe they wouldn't want to come over anymore if they knew what I had done and with who. There's a lot more.
High and mighty.
Really quick.
Whoa.
Is this a red flag?
Yeah.
Sophia, catch.
Give me my red flag. Ah!
Oh.
No.
Sophia, are you saying that's a green flag?
Wait.
Okay.
Red flag. Why?
Red flag. Because again, if you're going to cheat or have an affair with a guy who has kids, then you gotta deal with the fact that he has kids.
Yeah.
Like, or in any relationship, if the person has kids, you have to accept them. They don't have to be you don't have to accept them as your own kids, but you still have to like realize that they come before you.
John, what is the reason for your red flag?
Can't have your cake and eat it too. Another metaphor.
Another banger.
Yeah, it's like kind of a classic thing of like, oh, hey, I got to steal you away, but I just want you to myself and like give me exactly what I want. It's like, we can't.
Yeah. Also, like, why is OP still with this person?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the values of OP probably a little compromised.
Yeah.
If you're cheating on your wife, but if someone's trying to get between you and your kids
That
and
end of a relationship.
threatening,
Yeah.
that was a threat.
Yeah.
That was a threat.
You're
that
so
threat
right.
was, I am going to tell your kids
Unless you limit your relationship.
unless
with
you
them.
limit the relationship with them.
Yeah.
One simple question that must be answered. How big is the dad's shoe size?
Wait, why is that relevant?
Why is that relevant, Riley?
Because if she's willing to go through all this, and he's got to be packing.
He's rich too, though.
Wait, what is she going
Exactly.
through?
She's like, you asked why is he still in the relationship? Probably because he's rich and...
No, wait. Why is he still in the relationship?
Oh! Because she has a small foot size or no foot size.
Put F's in the chat.
She has
F's
no
in the
foot
chat
size.
for L's
I've
in the chat for
decided
Riley.
it's time for them to know the truth. I can't have this threat hanging over me. Why are you with her? Why are you with
Yeah,
her?
get out of here. She's blackmailing you.
How can I do this? What do I say? Do I involve a third party? Should their mom be there? I just don't know how to admit I blew up all our lives for nothing. Has anyone gone through this with their father and came out with an intact relationship? And edit, just breaking up with my girlfriend is not the solution to this. I'm afraid she will tell them out of spite whether we are together or not.
I think you have to tell
And there are some
the
relevant
kids
comments.
regardless, but I
does
think
he
also
break up first?
Yes.
Because if he breaks up first, then she immediately tells.
I think tell the kids, then break up with her.
Yeah, because you run the risk of her controlling the narrative.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because how is she gonna tell
Paint
them
you the
versus how
picture.
he's
Yeah.
gonna tell
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, he has to tell first, then
Yeah.
break up. But how does he tell?
I think literally just like I cheated on your mom
With this woman?
With this woman,
I've realized
and
that she is a witch
No, I've realized that I made a mistake, and yeah, something like that.
and never cheat on your partners.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But let's get into the relevant comments. So Candid Swordfish 522 says, she sounds like she doesn't understand you had a family before you hooked up with her and what being a parent entails. She sounds selfish. Her threatening to tell your girls, that is awful and malicious. Also, she sounds very, I don't know, like immature.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's also 29 too, so she's like on the younger side, but that's old
Yeah.
enough to know
Oh yeah,
right and wrong. The pain she would cause them is unnecessary. My ex-husband cheated on me a lot, and to this day, my adult children do not know that. They don't need to know that. Their dad may have hurt me and broke up our family, but I already processed the pain from the cheating. They don't need to go through it themselves.
Wait. Oh, this is a comment.
Is a comment.
I was
Yes.
like,
You have to
what?
ask yourself if you really like someone that would be willing to hurt your kids so she can have her way. Planning date nights and keeping those plans would have been an easy thing to ask for. When you have kids, privacy is really not super existent. You can still prioritize time with her without creating a shitstorm with your kid. She doesn't sound mature enough to properly have a conversation about making some time for you guys to have dates and spend time together without asking you to enforce the kids staying with their mom on her time, unfortunately. Not to mention, you both hooked up when you were married originally. Not only did you step out, she was okay being the side chick. That says something about her character,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is kind of what we said before.
Yes.
Oh
Life isn't a competition to see if you will pick her first. First, it was your wife she was competing with. Now she has an issue with your kids. And OP does respond. But I totally.
What
yeah,
a great
yeah,
breakdown.
dang.
Yeah.
OP says the problem is that during the first 6 months of our affair, before my ex found out I was a shitty father, I would go on business trips all the time and was basically an absent father. I think she expected I would be a weekend dad rather than want 50-50 custody. And it was a shock to her to spend much less time with me than before our affair was discovered. And so like basically like the girlfriend is like, wait, I thought you were just gonna hang out with your kids like a little bit. I didn't know you were
Right.
always gonna hang out with them because when we were hooking up, you barely saw them at all.
Yikes.
So I will be breaking up with her for a multitude of reasons, but her understanding of our family dynamic, i.e. me never being around, has contributed to this as her expectations were based on a version of a father I didn't want to continue being.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some more relevant comments.
Alrighty.
And a juicy update. Hello, Junebug says, even when you tell your girls you should still break up with your girlfriend, she sounds like a monster and threats prove she's a shitty person. Why isn't she contributing to bills? That's another good question.
Another good question.
I will be breaking up with her regardless. She's not contributing to bills because it's always been that way. I'm not stupid. A hot 26-year-old doesn't hook up with a balding old guy nearing 40s for his personality. Damn.
Whoa.
This has always been a transactional relationship, but I stayed because I felt like at least I lost my family for something. People have said, well, at least they're still together / they were meant to be, etc., which makes it seem less bad. Somehow, I'm aware this is stupid. That is so sad.
Oh God.
Dang.
Damn. Jay Edwards says, probably need to know why you cheated before we can come to a solid answer. Dead bedroom, out of love, sexually incompatible. OP responds, I don't think it matters, but none of the above. I've been with my ex-wife since we were 13. Damn. And our relationship was generally great even almost 25 years later. In therapy the past year, I realized that my problem that she has always been better than me at everything growing up and into adulthood. Better at sports, got better grades, I guess like in middle school and high school, got into a better school, better scholarship, better job, better parent, etc. At the time, she was also frustrated with me because I refused to leave my workplace for a job that paid significantly more. She never made me feel inferior, but I myself felt that I wasn't enough for her. My fault, not hers. hers. When I met my girlfriend, I felt superior to her because I had more money and was more educated / intelligent and had more materialistic things. And it was an intoxicating feeling. Even though I knew she was attracted to my money in my value system, I was still superior and had the upper hand, so to speak. I felt like a big man. It's pathetic, and I'm trying to unlearn the way I think about people's worth. Secondary to that, she's not more attractive than my ex-wife physically, but I had only been with 2 people. And the second one was a one-night stand when we broke up briefly at 21. She was very interested in me / persistent and decently attractive, and that coupled with my ego led to this affair. Not an excuse. It's something that could have been prevented by communication / therapy. I was a different person a few years back. And there is an update at the apt day of January 1st, 2024.
Wow.
The time for New Year's resolutions.
Happy birthday, Ice Spice.
New year, new me. Happy birthday, who?
Ice
Ice
Spice.
Spice. Riley knows a lot of facts about Ice Spice.
What do you think of that advice so far?
Oh man, like it's just kind of just a little wild to hear him like break it down, but I think he is right.
At least he's self-aware.
He's so self-aware.
Yeah.
Like he really kind of took the blame and like owned up to it.
Yeah.
I think honestly he could show his kids this Reddit post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even
Yeah,
like
dude.
that
Just
is
send a
true.
link.
Yeah.
Done.
or read it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So the one thing we're not 100% clear on is what progress he's made. He does seem very self-aware. I will 100% give him that, but like only now is he leaving this woman.
Yeah, the fact that
2 years, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
2 years?
He's been with her for 2 years after the split.
Well, see, they met at 26, and I think she is
She's
29,
29 right
so
now.
almost
Yeah,
3.
so almost 3.
Almost 3. So I'm like, cool, but dang, buddy, what took you so
Yeah,
long?
dude.
Are your actions?
Yeah. Where's the
Yeah.
action? Where's the
Yeah.
action?
True.
So, conspiracy theory. What do you think is going to happen? Is he going to tell his girls for this New Year's resolution? Is he going to break up with the girlfriend? What is going to change? What is your theory?
I think that he is going to tell the girls and that, you know what? I'm going to go big or go home.
Yeah. Yes.
Gets back together with the ex. But
Parent trap.
Parent trap
I honestly don't want that to happen.
for the exes.
yeah.
Yeah, because like great that he's, figuring himself out, but too little too late.
And she probably went through such a grieving period
Yeah.
and gave him a pretty dang sweetheart deal.
Pretty good deal. 50-50 custody.
Didn't
yeah.
tell the children.
It's
That
also-
to me is the biggest
yeah.
thing. Is like, yo, you get to stay like golden dad
Yeah.
in their eyes
And went 50-50
Yeah.
and win
on
50.
custody.
I don't think they're good together, but I think he is growing.
He is growing. I don't know. I kind of like the fairy tale ending, even though he doesn't deserve it.
I'm going all the way.
You're just saying
going
it
all the
to
way.
say it.
I'm saying it to say it.
But let's see what is actually said and go back to reality. So this is January 1st. I took everyone's advice and involved my ex-wife in the situation. Safe to say she was pissed off at my poor choice in partners and having to deal with this BS. But we got together with the girls at ex-wife's house and told them. Many of you suspected. The girls already knew.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, why else would your parents break up so abruptly,
Yeah.
I mean, because they say like, oh, just weren't the right fit or whatever.
Also, the girls are 12, 15, and 17.
I feel like that's old enough to be like, oh,
They're
something's
like,
up.
Dad, we know.
Dad's on a business trip again.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is he? Well, you guys would be wrong. Incorrect. Apparently, they thought we broke up because of my job and my refusal to accept a new one. We did not lie to them during the divorce and tell them an untrue reason. We just told them that the relationship issues are private and we would be willing to have a discussion when they were all adults. So thankfully, there was no trust lost in my ex-wife, which some of you were concerned about. All the girls were incredibly upset. Natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you react?
I'd be very upset.
I'd be pretty
Yeah.
upset.
I'd be
Yeah.
pissed too.
Yeah.
Especially at like 15, 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
They were being cordial with my girlfriend because their mom encouraged them to be civil, but apparently hated her. They couldn't believe I would give up my wife for her, our family, and their stability, which is fair. They were refusing to see me now. My ex and I are going to get them into some therapy, and I'm hopeful that over time we can rebuild a relationship.
Mhm.
Rough,
Yeah, that's hard.
but deserved.
I think you needed to do it.
And this is growth. This is what growth looks like.
Yeah.
100%.
These are the growth. These are the pains of your actions catching up to you, but like a good way.
Yes.
And coming clean. Like this is what
Yeah.
has to happen.
And I think it'll take your kids like some time to reckon with it.
And
but
process.
yeah.
My oldest is furious and has sent me some scathing messages and then blocked me. So I'm really concerned about her and I. I miss some of her huge life events due to my affair, and I think that will be hard for her to forgive. As for the girlfriend, we're getting married. No, okay.
Oh, I was like,
I love figuring you guys out. She is gone, plain and simple. She has her next partner lined up and is moving to be with him.
Whoa.
Of course.
She's got a roster. If she's willing to do it to
Immediately?
you,
Immediately.
she'll do it to someone else.
I can't say I'm hurt about that, which shows me how little I cared for her. I just feel relieved. A bunch of you suggested getting back with my ex-wife, which is what John wanted, his fairy tale
I
wedding.
didn't say that's what I wanted.
It's what
I said.
John
I
said he
predicted.
absolutely did nothing wrong and wanted OP to get back
This
with
is
his
fake
wife.
You
news.
heard it here.
This is
Oh,
AI.
You heard it here first. Unfortunately, that topic is breached when the affair was discovered, and she was/is 100% uninterested. She takes her job as a mom very seriously, and in her mind, the girls would eventually know, and it would be setting a bad example for them to take back a cheater. Even independently of that, cheating has always been a deal breaker for her.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't even cross my mind for the example set for the girls.
Yeah.
The mom sounds great.
Saint.
Yeah.
Angel.
Yeah. I feel bad as she was planning on moving her partner in, and now she feels like she has to delay it until the girls are in a better place. Because she's been dating someone. She was really angry with me, especially for that reason. In her anger, she's also let it slip that her and her partner are planning on marrying in the next few years and having another child. She's never shared anything personal with me in the past, allowing me to meet her partner before the girls did. So that was a shock to me. I'm trying to process that information. That hurts me more than my girlfriend cheating and leaving, which tells me I have a lot more work to do in getting over her. There is a permanence in her marrying that I am not prepared for. It's like the door is completely closing.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. It's been a sobering experience for me. Thank you to everyone who legitimately gave me advice. It was very helpful. If I could, in turn, offer some advice, don't cheat on your partner.
What, really?
Yeah.
Wait.
That's
Thank
some great
you.
advice.
Wow.
The grass is greener where you water it. And if I had taken the time, effort, energy I gave my affair partner and invested it in myself and my wife, I would be incredibly happy right now. And as a side note, to all the men messaging, commenting, congratulating me for getting a younger woman, that shit doesn't matter. I've never looked at my ex-wife and thought she was old or unattractive. And she was better in bed than my ex-girlfriend. This had nothing to do with getting a younger woman / trading my wife in. It had to do with a self-destructive ego that has led to the most important people in my life hating me. All that shit is irrelevant. Don't get caught up in it.
Oh.
That is
Well.
where it ends.
If there's a cautionary tale, if I've ever
Yeah.
heard one.
Wow. The self-awareness is great.
Yeah, great.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, hopefully he finds love again and is a
Yeah.
better person because
Yeah.
of this. But
No, I think this was a learning experience for him, and I'm glad he learned something.
you cannot say man didn't learn.
Yeah.
Man
He
learned.
did learn.
Yeah.
Man
He did
learned.
learn. Yes.
A little too late, but he learned.
Yep.
Too little, too late, but
Hey,
yeah.
but you know, it's never too late. I mean, well,
Now it is, ladies and gentlemen.
maybe a little.
Yeah.
But you know what? It actually isn't too late for.
Maybe hitting this next story
That is
from
correct.
the back.
Let's get into it.
Whoa.
Oh, goodness gracious. So.
Signignatius. Our marriage counselor is making us divorce, but we found out that he was lying to us. What do we do now? This is OKOP, home of the craziest stories on earth. I'm Sophia, and Riley, what should OP do?
Therapists are never wrong.
Therapists, historically, have never been wrong.
How do you
Once.
go through so much school and decide, oh, I should lie to people now? Yeah, there's no way that he did that. Did he do that?
Throwaway 999 says, my husband of 7 months and I had a rough time after we got married when he came back from military deployment. Screaming matches, erectile dysfunction, resentment from deployment, me feeling sexually unattractive, etc. We went to a military-funded marriage counselor for about 2 months before the therapist suddenly disappeared, saying he was getting transferred. So he didn't suddenly disappear. He said he was getting transferred.
But it must have been like too quick.
A sudden transfer, but suddenly disappeared means like he's gone.
Without a trace.
Where'd he go? And he said he continues seeing us once a week, but suddenly his phone number changed and we had no idea what happened. We just stopped counseling altogether due to scheduling issues. Our last session was around February or so. I thought the marriage counseling helped as we'd been doing better, or so I thought. But apparently my husband is still unhappy, albeit for other reasons now. Our sex life still sucks, and I feel horribly unwanted and undesirable despite being fit and attractive. Oh my God, I'm sorry, OP. We had a flight last night, and finally the substance of our individual counseling came out for the first time. We were shocked, to say the least. So we'd had both individual and couples counseling. We'd met around once a week as a couple and would alternate weeks individually. It came out last night. The counselor had been telling us individually that the problem was all the other's fault.
Because that's what you want to hear in counseling.
just pandering to whatever you want to hear. That's perfect. He gave us both both some of the same story, but with some differences. He told us each that the other was being very closed off and defensive and not wanting to open up or discuss issues, that we were each blaming the other. This was while I was openly sharing with him my abandonment and anger issues and feeling insecure sexually, and providing him with background info from my previous therapy sessions with other counselors. My husband claims he would try to offer stories from his past as well, but that the counselor would actually cut him off and say he wasn't the problem.
Okay, question real quick. Why is counselor doing this?
Do you want conspiracy theory?
Yeah, you gotta put the hat on.
Okay.
This doesn't
I
count if
thought you
don't.
want a conspiracy theory. I don't have a conspiracy theory. We're the conspiracy theory, but like you're giving.
But
the
I want to
conspiracy.
know what you think, like why the therapist is doing this too.
I think the therapist does it for kicks.
Yeah, that's what I was
He's
thinking.
like, this would be really funny. I can't. It's actually John and Sam ruined the hats that I made, and so they don't stay on your head anymore. Anyway, the therapist is doing this for the kicks.
Yeah, I think like he has a
the giggles.
boring home life, and he's
Yeah.
like, this is how I'm gonna get the most out of my day, ruining this couple's marriage.
Ruining their marriage. What if he's really good with like everyone else? Like he has really good reviews. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is the best therapist I've ever seen. He really saved our marriage. And he's like, okay, I have such a good reputation. What if I was just a little silly? Perfect. Conspiracy solved. He told my husband privately I may have VPD and likely needed meds. This coincides chronologically with my husband out of nowhere yelling at me during arguments that I needed medication. I asked our counselor if I should see a specialist after these fights, whether I really was showing these signs, and said honestly that I would seek more intensive help if he thought it would help our marriage. He laughed at my husband in individual sessions, saying there was nothing wrong with me, that my husband was deflecting by trying to diagnose me. Does he think he's a psychiatrist? He would laugh. Haha. That's his laugh. He told me privately my husband was emotionally and sexually underdeveloped and would never have a healthy relationship sexually or emotionally with anyone without serious change, that I should move on, that he was not willing to change or admit to any issues and would run from all conflict. Maybe the counselor's trying to be with one of them.
Ooh,
He's trying to ruin the relationship because he's in love with one of them.
Which one do you think he's going for?
What if he's going for both of them, but he needs them both out of the way?
He needs to separate them
He
so he
needs
can
to
be with them
separate-
individually.
Exactly. Individual sessions.
Yeah, I wonder what the vibes are during the one-on-ones.
Yeah, he's like talking to the wife. He's like, oh, no, like it's not you at all. Your husband sounds like a piece of work. You should find a new husband.
Someone that's better and more
Emotionally intelligent. Exactly.
It's me.
It's me. Hi. He is the problem. That was just a little side conspiracy. That each time the counselor tried to broach issues, my husband would clam up and get defensive. That he didn't know what it truly meant to be married, and that he suspected there was something deeply rooted in my husband's past. That was the root of all our problems. That my husband just needed more therapy. Note, we weren't paying for therapy. We got it free due to military benefits. That's good. Therapy is expensive. He told me I was very smart and attractive and deserved a partner more on my level.
Dude, she called it.
The therapist is playing the long game. This also seems like violating some patient-doctor codes.
Yeah.
My husband reports the counselor told him there was nothing wrong with him, that he was very mature and intelligent, and all our problems stemmed from my psychosis. Yikes. The aftermath. I am horrified by how many of our fights after the beginning of counseling were colored by his statements. I was treating my husband like a 13-year-old boy, and my husband kept telling me I needed psychiatric treatment. Our marriage has actually improved much after this time, but I now believe it's because I worked on my anger issues and gave my husband the benefit of the doubt, while my husband became a better communicator in arguments. My husband now has different issues with our marriage. But we are both still reeling from our conversation about the counselor last night and wondering what kind of harm it may have caused. I don't really know what I'm asking here. I had insomnia all night about this, and I just don't know what to do. That really sucks.
Not cool,
How
guy.
did yeah, not cool. I hope he gets fired and disbarred, but like the therapist equivalent to that. Yeah, no, I know that's a lawyer thing, but what's the therapist?
Yeah, what's the therapist? I think
Lose your license?
you lose your license, you have to meet with
Another therapist.
another therapist that's a narcissist 3 times a week, and then you have to go through that cycle for, till the end of time.
Until the end. This is just hell.
For however long you marriage counseled them times 2 because there's 2 people.
There we go. And then that's your punishment.
Yep, you just go crazy for the next however long.
I want to know how they brought up that conversation? The couple, they were like, well, the therapist said that you are crazy. And then they're like, wait a minute. The therapist said that about
said
you.
That you're a 13-year-old boy.
The therapist said you're a 13-year-old boy. Yeah.
Have you gone to therapy before?
Yes.
How is it?
I liked it. Scheduling was hard, but
I don't know. How does it go? I usually use friends for therapy.
oh yeah, no, don't do that. Go to therapy, Riley. Everyone should go to therapy if you can and have the time and funds to do so. It's chill if you find a nice person, and hopefully you don't get this therapist because he seems not so great.
It does seem like fun.
But here's an direct question. Oh, this is from OP asking, should I report the counselor and what are suggestions for how to move forward with my husband in this?
How do you report a counselor? Do you go to his boss?
I guess so. Yeah. You go to the company, or I don't know what if he's like individual, then maybe you go, I don't know. How do you
figure that
report
out?
a therapist?
Let us know in the comments.
Relevant comments. This one is from Acheron's Hunt, perhaps. Man, that is some Dr. Lecter nonsense. I hope you can get his license yanked. Brandon23Z says, Jesus, what the F is wrong with this guy? His job is to fix relationships. He is doing the exact opposite. This is something out of an M. Night Shyamalan film. So true. Albrecht Einstein says, what would happen during the joint sessions? How did he manage to maintain the two sides of the story simultaneously? That's such a good point.
Ooh.
That's such a good point because he's lying to both of them. And if they're together, how is he doing it? Maybe he's just like really nice during that. He's like, oh, wink, wink. I'm going to pretend like you're both fine.
Yeah. It's like he's juggling a few things, which I would ask you about, but you don't juggle.
I do juggle, guys. I know how to juggle. I don't have tennis balls yet.
Got a lemon.
Oh, that's true. If you get me 2 more lemons.
Oh my gosh. Just more. She wants more. Okay. What did he
Sorry.
say? What did he say?
He would request an update of our status since last meeting. We would both give our perspectives on the latest fight or on why we thought we resolved an issue successfully. Then he would provide suggestions, but a lot of it seemed fluffy. I always resented him not confronting my husband on his issues. And I now know my husband was angry the counselor wasn't suggesting I get evaluated for BPD. Honestly, I did have issues with rage and he didn't help me at all, even when I tried to bring them up individually. I read a lot of self-help books specific to managing anger and did a lot of introspection and practice techniques on calming down. I also read some books on marriage. Our relationship has improved greatly, but I think it's because both my husband and I did a lot of self-help. Yeah, that's good that they were working on themselves.
Doing a little homework outside of therapy sessions.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Work on yourselves and don't rely on bad therapists, I guess. I had no idea what couples incapable of such introspection and self-awareness would have done with someone like him. She's like, we're just so self-aware. We're so introspective.
It's what the homework that you did. That's how they figured it out.
Yeah, they were like, we're working on ourselves. And then they would be like, hey, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. They pieced it together like a puzzle. The Strangest Secret says, by law, aren't therapists supposed to keep notes or recordings of each session? OP says there were no notes. He explained it was all kept confidential as per military policy. This made sense to me at the time because a lot of military veterans don't want documentation that might hurt their careers and such. So he explained it as a policy issue meant to encourage soldiers to attend counseling instead of bottling it all up. He is covering his tracks. He's tricky therapist. Additional info from OP. I feel so stupid. I felt like something was off. I didn't include this in my post, but he would propose strategies for getting my husband to come out of his shell at the next joint session, but he wouldn't follow through. My husband says he said the same thing to him and would be flabbergasted at joint sessions when the counselor did a 180 on him. Oh my goodness. That's a lot.
This is a lot. I'm kind of happy that one, they didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Like at least you weren't losing a giant amount of money.
But they did lose a lot of time and trust.
Yeah, so true. So maybe that's worse.
Would you rather lose money or time and trust?
Would you rather lose, how much is like a average therapy session? Let's just say maybe they're spending around over $2,000 a month on therapy.
From February to May. 4 months, so times 4.
Would you rather spend $8,400 or lose time and trust?
Or lose 4 months of time and trust with your marriage. In a very new marriage.
In a very new marriage, husband of 7 months.
Let us know.
Let us know in the comments. Juicy update though. This is 4 years later.
Oh,
so
wow.
This is the juiciest of updates. I hope this is allowed. No, No, not allowed. I used a throwaway and don't remember my password. A lot happened since then, and it occurred to me that maybe I should post an update in case anyone here was around for that.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you that we are around for that. Well, fast forward to today. My husband and I are doing great now. Yay! Congratulations. We went on a vacation. Both of us changed jobs, moved, and we are very happily married now 4 years later. We travel, adopted a couple of kitties, and bought a house in a place we both love. How we got here? We both read some self-help books, started giving each other the benefit of the doubt, got better at communicating. I left my super high-stress job. He changed careers, and everything sort of did a 180. Funny enough, my old job had been killing me, and when I'd mentioned to the counselor that I thought maybe I should find another job since it was so dysfunctional, he protested against it. Therapist strikes again. My husband and I did not report him at the time. We were concerned he would retaliate against my husband in some way, as my husband was in the armed forces for a year and a half after all this. I am embarrassed that we did not report him. We were scared and overwhelmed. I am considering calling the base's family services now and filing an official report. Not sure if it'll matter. So much time has passed. I think definitely do it because, you never know who else he is trying to break up. That's all really. You all were such a great help then. I thought I might as well post this in case anyone around here remembered. P.S. I thought to post this after we watched an M. Night Shyamalan movie recently. One of the commenters had mentioned this sounding like a film he'd make. I still laughed at the comment years later, so thank you Brandon23Z and Acheron's Hunt for that. There's more relevant comments from OP. It's hard, but I actually ended up seeing another licensed and well-reviewed therapist when I lost someone very important to me. This counselor was wonderful and really helped me. Yay! Good therapist.
It actually made my life better.
Woo, that's what he's supposed to do. We love when a therapist actually does their job. I did my research and paid out of pocket for her. She was an angel and worth every penny. I think finding a good therapist is a lot like dating. There are some crazies, some a-holes, and some you just don't click with. Also, maybe you get what you pay for, and Dr. Lecter was free with the military.
I see. So money equals quality.
Yeah. What time? Oh, this is story time, but this is about lawyers.
Ooh, yes. Okay, story time.
Okay, story time about lawyers. I really would. The one good thing Dr. Lecter did tell me was your husband says some stupid things in arguments. He doesn't actually mean to hurt you. That's the one good thing Dr. Lecter said.
Hey, I mean, if you went through all that just to get that piece of gold nugget.
I don't know. This blew my mind because as someone very good with words, I couldn't understand how someone could say such hurtful things without harboring malice. But I followed his advice and was more patient when my husband would say something ridiculous. Also, finding a new job helped me a ton. I didn't recognize how much of a nervous wreck I was thanks to the godforsaken office. I became much more even-keeled overnight. This did wonders. This is on why the counselor played games, OP says. I've thought a lot about it. I think he was honestly at the end of his career and decided we were both good people with personal issues that brought out the worst in each other. My hypothesis is he didn't want to do the work and figured he'd just get us to break up and move on with our lives rather than take months to get us to realize we were just incompatible. But yeah, I decided to call the base Monday and report. Like, he sounds awful. But what if this was his reverse psychology? He's like, what if I give them a person to hate, like a third party?
Okay.
All of this is leading up. They have to figure out that I'm the bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like teamwork. And then they have to, end goal is they report me and I save their marriage.
Wow. And if that was the case, he definitely did it.
It worked.
Here's what I thought.
Okay. What'd you think?
He was out of a job or he was about to be out of a job and he's like, the only way for them to come see me is if I ruin their marriose. Then I'll have like clients.
Yeah. They keep coming.
But good on them. They
yeah,
like
your
turned that all
marriage
around.
sounds good. I'm happy for you.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have that realization and do something about it.
Yeah. It seems like you did a lot of work and that's cool. Nice. Is that all?
That's it. That's all of it.
Oh, okay. Story time.
But yeah. So
Oh, this was just about, cause like if
what
you,
about these lawyers?
yeah, like not, cause they were saying, OP was saying, you get what you paid for. And one time I was on a jury when I was 19, I got picked for jury duty and I was on the jury.
Like,
yeah, I think so.
Really?
I don't know. I'm going to talk about it. Anyway, well, I don't have to I won't give the deets of the case.
Give
but I
all
think,
the details.
Okay. Basically, it was this case. It was a vandalism case where this one guy was accused of damaging this other guy's bike. And basically, the guy accused, his lawyer was like a state lawyer, so he wasn't paying. And he was just horrible. Like, I felt so bad for the guy because they had a lot of proof that he did do it. There was 8 minutes of footage of him doing it. But his lawyer was so bad and he kept like admitting that the guy did it.
Oh.
Yeah. He'd be like, and so what we're not trying to prove, or like we already know that he did it, but we're trying to prove something else. And we were like, wait, you just admitted that he did it. Yeah. So that, when you don't have the money to pay for the lawyer or you're getting it for free, they don't usually do the best work.
But like they had video proof. What do you
Yeah,
like? Oh, that's not him. Did it look like him?
No, it looked like him. They had 8. But do you want to know the crazy thing?
What's that?
It was a hung jury because one guy on the jury was like, I don't think it's fair. That was literally his argument. We were like, do you believe that he damaged the bike? And he was like, yeah. And we're like, it was a motorbike, not just a bicycle. And we're like, do you believe that? And then do you believe that the bike belonged to this other guy? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what's the issue here? He's like, I don't know. I just don't agree with like the definitions of things. It was crazy. So it was a hung jury.
Does that mean like he got off?
No, it just means that it goes to another, like it does again.
Oh, that's annoying.
Which is annoying because it's time and money out of everyone. Like he has to go do this again, not go to work and be, and it was a hung jury.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of hung that's our last story.
You're kind of hung? When it hung up?
I'm pretty hung up that this is the end of this story. Man, I'm pretty hung up that this is the end of the story.
But don't worry, there's another story coming up.
What?
I went on a date with a therapist and now she wants to marry me. What should I do? I'm Sophia. And Sam, what should OP do?
I think OP should just get in love and get married, because then if you're in love and married with a therapist, and all of your problems are gone. They literally solve everything. No therapist marriage has ever failed.
Is that true? Are there stats to
There's
back that
There's stats.
up? Are you a
and it is my
therapist?
feelings.
Anyone in the
Yeah,
comments?
if anyone is
Are you married?
Therapist
And married.
How's it going?
How's it going? Because I heard that like 50% of marriages end in divorce.
Yeah, but 100% of therapists never get divorced.
Maybe because 50% of therapists don't get married. So UTX Shadow says, and this is actually last December, but I'm always told this is a hilarious story, so I thought I'd share. Last September, my ex-wife and I filed for divorce.
Last September,
I gave you my heart. The very next day, you filed for divorce. This year, to save you from tears, we're gonna get married to a therapist. One of my best friends says I should try dating. She's never led me astray, so I say, F it, why not? First girl I match with on Hinge seems nice. We talk for a few days since I'm on a business trip and plan to go out when I get back. She's a therapist, works with neurodivergent kids. We chat a bit, all's good. We go on our first date after work on a Tuesday. I pick her up at her place, go to my favorite pizza joint in her area. Starts a bit awkward as first dates do. She then tells me, I, the therapist, can't wait to tell you I'm pregnant. Okay, weird.
Wait, what?
The therapist tells OP on their first date that she's pregnant and that she couldn't wait to tell them.
Wait. They're going on a first date.
Yeah.
And the therapist says, I have something to tell you. I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And you're the father. Wait, actually?
Yeah, there's more.
Isn't that kind of weird?
Well, that's what OP says. They say, okay, weird. Maybe the nerves. Understand, we had no booze at this point. I think she's just nervous. Well, the therapist shouldn't be having any alcohol because she's pregnant.
Is that a joke? Is like she joking?
I have no idea. I think she's just nervous. OP just thinks she's nervous. Great.
Probably the pregnancy hormones.
It's just weird. A few minutes later, she's telling me about her parents who live near the Wisconsin-Minnesota border, and we are in the Chicagoland area. These parents show up and sit down with us, yet they lived in the Great White North, so they came down? What? So I'm against the wall of the booth with her dad sitting next to me. She's across from me, her mom next to her. Okay, guess I'm paying for their meal too. Double date. Great. This is actually
bizarre.
This is bizarre. This is really
you need
weird.
therapy after this first date.
Mom and dad tell me they've heard a lot about me, yada yada. How much could they know? Mom just sent you a website saying colon cancer rising.
That's so something mom would send us.
colon cancer rising in today's youth.
That is something I think mom sent me.
She did.
Wait.
No.
Wait, are you just saying a fact about me, or is this in the story?
No, mom just sent you a text. That's like colon cancer rising.
Thanks, mom.
Sorry, you can edit that out.
No, it's fine. You can give it in.
Mom and dad tell me they've heard a lot about me, yada yada. How much could they know?
They know about my colon cancer.
They talk about what it's like. No, just to be clear, OP does not have colon cancer.
And neither do I.
No one has colon cancer.
My
But
mom-
it is rising in today's Okay. OP says they talk about what it's like working for a vocational school. So I start freaking out as I've only said I'm a school admin, nothing more, not where I work. I say, it's great, but I'm looking to go back to the middle school or elementary next year. Dad says he can't wait to have a son-in-law like me.
Whoa, pump the brakes, Daddy-O.
And mom says she can't wait to have me marry into the family. Awkward. They were drinking, so I give them a pass. OP's giving them a lot of passes.
Too many passes,
OP's
one might say.
Maybe she's just nervous. Maybe their parents are just drunk.
I have a feeling that...
What's your conspiracy theory?
My conspiracy theory is that OP is not the person they think he is.
Yeah, I think that
I think the
maybe
person
they
that
mixed them up.
impregnated this first date is probably not there.
What if the therapist was like, I'm pregnant. I need to find, like, I don't know who the father is. The father's out of the picture or something like that. I need to find, sorry, I should be wearing this.
Yeah, put on your conspiracy
It doesn't
hat.
actually, you ruined them.
No, I didn't.
I should
That's
be-
John's big head.
John ruined it. I need to find someone to pose as my baby's father immediately. So I'm going to go on Hinge and hopefully he plays along.
But why?
I just told you why.
To make sure the baby isn't out of
To make
wedlock?
sure like the no.
parents.
There's no such thing as out of wedlock anymore. That's such an outdated thing, Sam.
I mean, there is such a thing as out of
There's such a
wedlock.
thing.
It's just,
Anyway.
it is an outdated thing.
Yeah, it's an outdated term, Sam. But I like no. So the
What
parents
would you
don't like
say?
judge or something.
They're like, my daughter is not having a baby out of wedlock. My daughter will marry into a family of wealth and power.
My daughter will not marry the son of a vocational school worker.
This is such a chaotic episode. All right, let's get back on track. Let's tighten this ship.
Awkward evening continues. Yada yada, get to know you stuff. We start leaving and I picked up this chick, so I gotta drop her off. Grandma raised a gentleman, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's your wife.
Figured I'd do that and dip. Nope. We get back. Parents parked next to me. Invite me up. Mom said she baked a great pumpkin pie earlier today.
That would get Sophia. Sophia loves
I
pumpkin
do
pie.
love pumpkin pie. Well, what's like another word for shit? That's
Shiza.
well, oh no. I love me some pumpkin pie. Decide, F it, might as well get something out of this night. That's true, I would do that. Had some pie. Truthfully, some of the best pumpkin pie I've ever had. Wow.
I guess it was worth it.
Yeah, I tried to leave and they weren't really letting me by giving me more pie or starting a new conversation topic. Best friend, one who told me to start dating, calls, asks, what's up? Took the call in the bathroom and she comes up with this plan. I'm going to go pick up my friend Eddie because she thought I shouldn't use a girl's name with his flat tire. Great. I gotten out. She says she needs to walk her dog. Annoying, yapping dog, rubbing his butt on everything and dragging his butt across the floor. Very poorly trained. Yeah, I guess it's not a dog trainer. She's just a therapist. F. Fine.
You can't win them all.
Come with and walk me down. Mom comes too. I'm standing there trying to leave as Chick is taking her dog for a poop. Mom says, it's nice to meet me, yada yada, and says, I'm so glad my daughter has found you. I didn't think she'd be able to settle down since we've had her committed 3 times, and walks away. What the F? Bomb
Why
drop.
would you say that to a potential partner?
I didn't think she'd be able to settle down because she's been committed 3 times.
We've tried to get her to settle down. We used all the straps in that joint, but she just wiggles out like Houdini every time. You must have very strong straps. Some might say a strapping young lad.
If you want to marry my daughter, you have to be prepared.
What is your not knowledge?
Once a month, she turns into a werewolf.
And she goes bananas.
I'm panicking now, rightfully so, OP, but I think it's a little late. I feel like you should have panicked a
Yeah, you
little
should
bit
have
earlier.
panicked much earlier.
Sweating a bit, I turn to get in my car and Jack is right there. Hugs me, tries to kiss me, asks to come in. No, I'm just kidding. What's the vampire thing? Will you invite me inside? You know, because they have to be invited in.
Is that a thing? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
vampires can't come in unless you invite them in.
Wow, that's so respectful.
Anyway, I turn to get in my car and Chick is right there. Hugs me, tries to kiss me, yada yada, tells me, I love love you and can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
This is a first date.
Yeah, this is crazy. Maybe she's suffering some sort of breakdown. Me, great, gotta go. Friend needs help. Bye. I get in the car. This chick is in my rear mirror and she's calling me. I pick up and she said, "You didn't say you love me." Best friend calls. Oops, hang on, important call, and picks up. Tells my buddy this. She's laughing her butt off.
You're laughing her whole butt off.
Okay, I'm scared at this point, thinking headlights in my rear view mirror are her. So I start speeding for the highway. She's racing after the rear mirror. I'm speeding away, get pulled over. Cop asks why. I tell him everything. Takes a good 5 to 6 minutes to get him to understand. He noticed I have Wisconsin plates. All he says is bro and gives me great advice. Never put your D in crazy. Thanks, bro Chacho. What is this? Who are you, OP?
Bro Chacho. I'm going to use that.
Cop feels sorry for me and escorts me to the highway. Great. Freedom. Chick texts me. I try to ghost her. Now I left out an important detail. I went on a school night wearing spirit wear with my school logo. Once you know the name, it's hard not to find, as I'm the only type of school like this in my county. I go to my boss the next day and tell him. Says I'm an effing idiot for wearing my work shirt. Laughs his butt off about the whole situation. Asks if I blocked her. Oh no, that's a good idea. So I do it. Tells me I'm an effing idiot again for not thinking this through. She figured out where I worked and starts calling my desk, asking when we are going out. Leaves a message, says she wants to be engaged by the time she's 30, which was weeks away, literally the next month since we went over our birthdays. At this point, I'm freaking out. I have an SRO, school resource officer, in my building. I tell him what happened, gave her name. He told me he'd take care of it if she came back, but also told me to move my car to the
take care of it. I feel like he's like sharpening steaks at this point and
He's
getting
the
the
guy
garlic.
in Ratatouille. He's like, I killed a man with this thumb. I'll take care of it.
I'm thinking more that he's like a vampire hunter and he's gonna stab her
Oh,
in the
this is
heart
Buffy
with
the
a
Vampire
stake.
Slayer.
Yeah.
But also told me to move my car to the back, gated and can't see. Dude's a saint, and it was a great idea. Chick shows up asking to see me. Security tells her I don't work here. She gets snotty with the SRO, gets escorted out, calls my desk phone, pleading with me to give her a chance. Finds my sister, my best friend, all on Facebook, tells them we are soulmates. I tell them to block her. Chick was crazy, got her to calm the F out when I told her I'm going to report her for harassment to her licensing board. All BS, no idea if that would do anything. And that, kids, is the story of how I met your mother. Kidding. But damn, was I scared of dating for a bit. Whoa, that is a hilarious story, OP.
I can't imagine being scared of dating. I mean, but like, what is on your Hinge profile that is attracting these kinds of
These
people?
crazy people.
Because I've been on, Riley's been on a couple dates. I've been on a couple dates. I've never encountered this level of craziness.
Well, I think that OP ignored a couple too many red flags.
Yeah. There was a sea of red flags that OP was swimming through.
I think that when the parents show up, that's when you're like, oh, I have.
Well, there was red flags before that.
Yeah, but like that's the last red flag.
That was the last red flag. But then you're kind of like roped in with the whole parent thing.
Well, you go, oh, it was so nice meeting you. Gotta go. Gotta
See ya.
blast. See you tomorrow.
Got a blast. Well, there was like stuff where she was like, I guess it really started with the parents where like.
Well, she says that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Is she still
I would
pregnant?
have.
Is
That
that
would have been
true?
like,
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's congratulations.
All right, come over here really quick. Sit on Papa's lap. Okay, so if you're going on a first date and the girl's like, "Hey, I'm pregnant,"
Hey, I'm pregnant.
what do you do?
Whose kid is it?
Not yours. It's just this is a first date.
Congratulations. And then I'd continue to ask her about it, make her seem like she's heard, and then to find an excuse to get out of there. That's what I would do.
What would be your excuse?
Oh, that's cool. I'm going to pay the bill real quick. I'll be right back. Pay the bill. Get out of there.
Oh, so you just disappeared.
Yeah.
You just fully run away. And then she finds you on Facebook. And then she finds your school because you were wearing your school shirt.
At what point would you have left? Put your answers in the comments below.
Yeah.
Also, sorry for this chaos. It's early right now.
It's 9 a.m.
It's 9 a.m. It's at 9 a.m. everywhere in California. At
It's
least.
9 a.m. everywhere in California. 9 a.m. maybe in a couple more places.
The PS, all the Pacific Rim.
That's a movie.
It is, but also it's like the Pacific area.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've divorced my husband because of my mother-in-law. Now he wants me back.
Well, that's a funny chain of events.
Dump your mom then. My ex and I were married for well over 5 years and together as a couple for 10 years. His mother was a nightmare. She would spend her time belittling me and tried humiliating me. I could take it as I loved my husband and I didn't want to make him choose between her or me. By the way, this comes from Opposite Leopard on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, of course, I would always tell him what she would be doing, and he would always brush it off as her being a loving and overprotective mom. When she would say something racist, I am Hispanic and they are white, he would laugh it off. When she would make a comment of me being a gold digger, even though I earned more than my ex, oh my God, he would just say, "Oh, mom." He would also get mad at me if I ever stood up for myself. But the straw that broke the camel's back is that when we had our daughter. My mother-in-law would always try to parent her and say that I would do something wrong. My daughter has an irritable colon and she cannot ingest any kind of effing oils or artificial things. And guess what that loony of a woman did?
I'm going to say she took all the seed oils in a 5-mile radius.
She took all the oils she could find. She fed my 3-year-old daughter essential oils. She is not
Anti-jab.
Anti-jab, thank you. Just very stupid to make her go to sleep. Oh my God. She was in the ICU. I had it and I confronted my husband who said she only did what she thought was best. She only did what she thought was best, Dakota. But you know what happened when she did what she thought was best, Dakota?
The best thing didn't happen?
She ended up in the
ICU.
Opie says I lost it. I went to my parents and drafted a divorce agreement. Let's go. That's the best course of action. I saw a post earlier describing a situation that is much more dangerous than mine involving allergens and an EpiPen. His face was like that Pikachu meme when I served him. He didn't know why I was doing that because we were happy. We were happy. So now a year has passed and my life was heck. My monster-in-law tried every dirty trick in the book to take my daughter. To name a few, she accused my brother of touching her inappropriately. She accused me of neglect. She accused me of taking rugs and leaving them in reach of my toddler. I take a medication that's prescribed and good, for heaven's sake. She accused me of endangering my daughter by leaving a random man in my house. The list goes on. But during this time, the excuse of my ex was that I broke his heart and that I had to understand his mother. She only wants what's best for him. Luckily, though, I got good representation and even got my daughter full-time minus some weekends for visitation. I could prove that my daughter was endangered by his mother. Yeah, I guess who's endangering now? Stupid.
Yeah, I guess you should have thought about that before you were a complete idiot.
So now on to the advice part. I knew that my ex needed to be permanently in my life because of my daughter, and I was learning to live with that. He was very cold with me again because I broke his heart. Now, two things have come together. One, my ex-brother-in-law got married to an African-American woman, so of course my ex-mother-in-law flipped. And two, I started dating again. My ex-brother-in-law is a great guy, and he actually stood up for his wife. Go figure, it is possible.
Whoa.
And to be clear, this is the brother of Opie's stinky husband who sucks,
Yes.
who didn't defend. I stay in contact with him because we are friends, and he was a mediator and fought with his brother quite often. So my brother-in-law actually stood up for his wife, and my ex-husband got his panties in a twist. My brother-in-law basically opened his eyes to how crappy he was being, and that their mom treated me the same way that she treated his wife. And finally, my dense ex started understanding. Now, the guy I'm seeing is great. I have even met his parents, and his mother is normal. She treats me like a human being and has invited me already to many family functions and tries to make me and my daughter feel welcomed. My ex got wind of the situation through a mutual friend, and guess who now is flipping his crap?
Oh, I couldn't possibly imagine who it could be.
We couldn't guess who it possibly could be.
So he started bringing flowers and chocolate. I don't even like chocolate to pick up our daughter. He sends me cards and texts with hearts and who knows what. But yesterday was the best thing, quote unquote. My daughter was at my mother's place and I was at home with my boyfriend. He appears in front of my door crying and clutching my engagement ring, begging me to come back. Babe, look what I did. I got in a suit to get on one knee and beg to have your hand in marriage again while you're chilling with your boyfriend in there.
Oh God, it's like does anybody think that'll work? Has that ever worked? Just groveling like a pathetic little baby. And then the partner goes, you know what? I actually see you in a different light now.
Yeah.
As a big pathetic man baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take you back.
Your groveling has made me realize that I should just dump this functional, caring person for you. A idiot.
Yeah.
So I said no, and that he should go away. He wouldn't and started demanding that I come out and talk to him. My boyfriend told him that he would call the police. And in his pathetic fashion, he threatened to do fisticuffs, the old 1-2 diddly do, to my boyfriend. So I closed the door and let him pound sand. Today, he picks up my daughter for a day trip, and when they came back, my daughter was asking if I loved my boyfriend more than her. Yep.
Just be like, no, that's impossible. You say that's impossible.
Now I'm at a loss of what to do. I already told my daughter that it was impossible because my love for her is infinite and there is nothing bigger than infinite. But now I know that my ex is trying to make my daughter hate. I'm at a loss because I won't use my daughter's ammunition, but also, what the heck am I supposed to do? I will never return to that man, but I can't take away the father of my daughter. Do you guys have any advice? And we have some edits, mini updates, just a smorgasbord of stuff. But I have to ask my good friend and smarter than any psychiatrist on planet Earth can give more overqualified answers than anyone you can think of. Dakota, bring the pain.
Yeah. So
what do we do?
I think the first thing you got to do is make sure that your child understands that they are like numero uno, right? It's like, I think get ahead of like do you love this person more than me? Do you love that person more? Nope. You're literally like not even on like here's like the scale and it's like, you're like all the way on the moon. Like,
right.
And then you are totally fine in not letting the dad back in. Like if the dad is going to be an active, like potential, neglect threat to the child, because it's like, whatever they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and that's not always the case. But it's like, I just think it's wild that the husband was not immediately on like, oh yeah, no, my mom is not that was 100% not okay, not down with any of that, not down with the snide, not down with the remarks that I'm laughing at. Not down with literally poissoning our child.
Yeah.
But instead it was like, oh, it's just my mom. Yeah, well, you're going to have just your mom because I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to see our daughter, you freak.
If you love your mom so much, why don't you marry her?
I mean,
there's
a lot of reasons why, right? I mean, but apparently OP's ex has none of them in their head.
We have an edit/mini update. Thanks to you all. I needed to vent and I was feeling helpless, and I'm so thankful for you wonderful people. I talked to my lawyer, who confirmed that we could have a case for DV by proxy. A social worker will be visiting us in the next few days to talk to my daughter about this. Edit, because apparently people want to spin this narrative on me. I don't care if he wants me back. I don't love him anymore and will never get back together with him. If you are commenting on this saying, oh, why are you abandoning him, or why don't you get back together with him? Find a rock, crawl under it, and never crawl out. Staying for the sake of our daughter would not make sense, as it has been proven that kids grow up happier in divorced homes than unhappy homes. I tried talking to my husband when we were still married, and he would always brush it off. He would brush off everything his mother did. I explained to him and told him that we needed to go to therapy, to which he declined. He has his daughter on the weekends. The court gave me majority custody because of his mother. Jesus, guys, I guess in some of y'all's eyes, I should have kept being on my ex's side as a submissive bimbo. And we have an update. So update, I just posted here yesterday, but it feels like weeks have happened. So I just left my daughter with my mother and I'm going to my lawyer again. I followed some advice that you guys gave me and we sat down with my daughter to chit chat. We knew that we couldn't prompt any kind of responses by asking overly specific questions as per her therapist. So my mother asked my daughter, let's call her Kat, Kat, what did you and daddy talk about? And Kat just listed many toddler things, like she talks about kindergarten, games, etc., etc. When I was kind of relieved that that comment my ex made yesterday may have just been a one-off, came the big bomb. He also shows me pictures of houses and tells me that I can now have 2 rooms with loads of stuff.
Red alert. Red alert. Red flag.
I ask her if her dad is buying a new house. Nope. Turns out that nut wants to take my daughter out of the country. He shows her pictures of beach houses and even bought her a bag so she can put her stuff inside of it, which explains why so many of her clothes have gone missing. At first, I thought maybe my ex hadn't told me because it hadn't come through. But no, he told my daughter to keep this as a secret because mommy would get sad if she knew that daddy was going away. Oh, mommy would throw a party if it was just dad going away. Okay. She would rejoice. Hallelujah. My ex is gone. So I am effing livid and also sad because I will have to tell my daughter no. Once again, I feel lost. Quick edit update. I talked to my lawyer and we have taken measures that I can't discuss here, but we are on it. I have my daughter's passport as we flew last month to visit extended family. Yes. Also, I am a U.S. citizen, so even if my mother-in-law tried to have me deported, that wouldn't be possible.
Well, yeah, it's like if they tried, they'd find out they're stupid and they don't know how that works.
Oh, mother-in-law.
Because I'm an American citizen that you can't deport.
I just I would personally take mother-in-law to a foreign country, coerce her into doing a crime, and get her jailed in the foreign country if she did that. I'm sorry.
That'd be great.
But we have not only update number 2, Mr. Dakota, we have the final update.
Yes. Let's continue.
Yes, intrusive thoughts aside. So where are you feeling now? We're working on some lawyer stuff. Yeah, what are, put yourself in Opie's shoes, like what are your next moves?
Oh, this is, you now have a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Like you have the iconic like Dwayne Wade to LeBron James slam dunk, the shot of it's over.
Yeah.
He's trying to abscond with the child
Child absconding
out of to a new continent. Yeah, no, you've got it. You win now. As soon as you prove that, which I think you already have the evidence.
because she did it with the lawyer. That's probably like some sort of like official.
There's got to be some kind of record somewhere. It's like you've got
it maybe.
Ooh, you know what? It might suck though because they might need the daughter's testimony, and that could be real traumatic to have a kid. Because if you don't have like the evidence of like the bag and the plan to like take the kid out of the country to like a new house, so like you don't have the pictures, like it's like they might have to have the kid. So what did your dad tell you that he wanted? And then that's so rough.
I would love to though have him be in court and then they'd be like, what is this bag? And he has 2 choices. He can lie and perjure himself, or he can say it's the bag that I packed to take her and go.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's got to be a way.
Oh, we got update number 2, the final update. So I thought of giving you the last update as you all helped me through this. I don't have enough evidence to request my ex parte, aka emergency child custody. So my lawyer and I had to work on steps to prevent child absconding. We got a custody decree that included provisions including passports, travel restrictions, etc. Oh, that's smart. Like, okay, she just can't like. She'll get stops. I like that. We also had to be very wary of the signs. In fact, he quit his job, and on a realtor's page, I saw that he was putting his mother's house on sale. That, in my daughter's words, was all that he needed to notify law enforcement to keep an eye out. Okay, well, that's good. I couldn't prevent my daughter from seeing her father. We tried to continue business as usual without my daughter feeling like something was up. But I got a call from the police department regarding the passport situation. My daughter's passport had expired recently, 5 years validity. Keep it expired. My ex-husband had tried to request a passport for my daughter without my knowledge, which was stupid because even without the decree, I had to be present or submit a notarized document of me stating that he could request the passport. After that, things went really fast. He was investigated because he had violated that decree, and it was found out that mother-in-law had bought 3 tickets with no return date to Mexico. I could request an ex parte. Do we know what that means? Or am I saying that right?
Right, I got you.
Producer Riley's looking it up.
By or for one party, Latin term meaning by or for one party. The term refers to an attorney's communication with a judge or attributor without notice to and outside the presence of the other parties, another party outside of the presence of that party's attorney.
So she could go straight to the judge and be like, yo, this is what's going on.
I think it's that. Is that what that is? Or
That's what Google
It's so
said
hard
it
to speak
was.
legal.
It's true.
I think I can't tell if that's what you just said, John, or if it's that no decisions are allowed to be made outside of the presence of
Oh.
everyone's stuff, right? It's like
True.
if he wants to do something, he's got to have his lawyers and her lawyers and the judge, and they've all got to make the decision together.
After a crap ton of documents I submitted, in most cases, the judge will evaluate behind closed doors. We had the hearing yesterday. It usually takes 10 to 20 days, which is very good for me. At the moment, I have sole custody of my daughter, but this is all temporary. My ex has visitation rights if I was present, but he can't take her anywhere. This is once the investigation of him is closed. I was cursed out by my ex and ex-mother-in-law, and they have said they will try to contest, but they have no leg to stand on. By the way, if you want to stand on business and get in our business by listening to full episodes of stories just like this with a infinite catalog, go to Spotify, search OK Storytime, or Google or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, and check us out there.
That's right. That's all you got to do.
So my daughter's going to continue therapy, especially after this. I will not prohibit him from seeing her, but he needs help. This was really scary and a very intense 2 weeks. I don't think that I will update again, but I wanted to thank you all for your tips and support. I'm really thankful as I am finally not anxious the whole time. Thank you very much.
All right. And that's that.
That is that.
And that, folks, is all she wrote.
That's a wrap a
That's
tat
all
tat.
she wrote right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. I hope that I hope this guy gets exactly what he deserves, which is nothing from you and,
Yes.
and nothing from your daughter.
Yes.
And then your daughter can grow up and make the determination on her own. At some point she's going to get to the age where she can think for herself and decide, do I want any contact with my dad? Do I want a relationship on that side?
Right. No, I think I agree with you.
My husband never listens to me. I don't know how long our marriage can last.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said,
Huh? What was that? I can't hear you.
I, 24 female, am questioning whether my marriage to my husband, 24 male, can work.
Oh, man, that's my age. Oh, that's how old I am.
We've been together since we were 15, but have only been married for a year. By the way, this comes from user Philly Birdlaw on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So that's a great It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Anyway, I started questioning our relationship before we even got married, which is maybe don't get married then, particularly when we started wedding planning, which probably should have been my first sign. I have for a while felt like I'm not heard or completely respected. We've had many discussions and arguments about this and other problems that I've brought up, and nothing seems to change. I, for the past year, have been in therapy for my depression and anxiety. It sounds sad to say, but I really just learned within the past month that I'm allowed to not want to deal with certain situations or feelings or behaviors, and it's like a switch flipped in my brain. And I woke up one morning and all my patience is gone for some of the things my husband does that I have in the past been more empathetic or patient about or just straight up tolerated. He has ADHD, and I understand that makes him struggle with certain things, so I don't know how valid I am. When we started trying to plan our wedding date, we had decided on March of 2023 and let our parents know and to let us know if the date would cause any problems, as we wanted to make sure all family members and important people could make it. My parents were fine by this, but my, at the time, fiance's mom told him that his sister would be studying abroad. What's her name? Sorry. I told him, my favorite dumb joke. I told him that we could change the date to make sure she would be able to attend, but he assured me that it would be fine and that his family had no issues. However, later that night, his dad had called him and was cursing him out, saying we needed to change the date because his mom was crying because we weren't being inclusive of his sister. So we then changed the date. I also started having a lot of recurring anxiety about making wedding decisions because I was worried about making a wrong choice and causing problems. We had decided together that we didn't want a huge ceremony or many guests. We had started our guest list about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before the wedding was to take place. He had double checked with his mom about all extended family and relatives that needed to be invited. Our guest list had ended up being about 75 people. About a month before the ceremony, his mom said that we were missing some of his family members, his grandfather's 2 sisters and their partners, and his grandmother's sister and her partner.
What?
All being on his mom's side of the family.
So it just seems like they're being nitpicky with who is invited to the wedding. Like, oh, we can't do this wedding because this person isn't invited yet.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like the grand aunt and their partner who I don't know. They really need to be there? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
All of this was on his mom's side of the family, which is probably important. I mean, it's the mom pulling all of these levers. I was upset as we were a month out, and even though we had a set guest list for the past year, which we had decided not to add anyone else to, we had to add these family members. I had asked that we not add them as it was too soon, and if they were that important, they should have been included when he and his mom talked about the guest list a year ago. She got upset because they were important and they were family, and that they go to every holiday and they need to go to the wedding. Mind you, we had been dating since we were 15. I've been to several Thanksgivings and Christmases beginning to end, and I've only ever seen one great aunt and uncle at Thanksgiving once.
But they're being very like, they have to make it, or
Yeah.
we can't have the wedding.
It's like these are like extended family. It's like, what are we talking about? We've already got 75 people going to the wedding.
Yeah. How many?
That's a lot of people. However, I agreed to add these estranged people to the guest list as I had been slack at sending out invitations anyway, and because they were family members. So I try to make the situation better and to probably just appease me. Both he and his mom said that these relatives wouldn't even come. So why are you inviting them? What? You can imagine how angry I was that they came anyway. Ugh!
Yeah.
God, annoying. We had another argument about the guest list about 2 weeks from the wedding as well, again from his mother. One of the great aunts and their partners couldn't make it, so his mother wanted to invite 2 other family members in their place. At this point, our guest list was at 80 people.
Who's paying for this?
Who's
paying for this?
What are we talking about?
I want to give me who's paying for this, and then you can call the shots. But if we ain't paying for it, why are we calling the shots?
Also, your great aunt Belinda can't come. Her ulcer's flaring up. But I got your great aunt Veronica, who never has ever met you, who's also going to come now.
She has to come to the wedding.
Yeah, what?
I'm all about, like, if, I haven't seen a family member, an extended family member, more than a year, and I'm like, have I seen them in less than a year? No. If they come to the wedding, will they make it better? No. They're not coming.
There you go. Riley's golden rules right there.
I have heard the rule sometimes of like if they don't say happy birthday to you,
Ooh.
then they're not invited. Not necessarily. I think that's more with friends, but it's like it shows how close you guys are. Yeah.
I guess no, I'm just kidding.
I went to your birthday dinner.
At this point, our guest list was at 80 people, which was more than we wanted attending in the first place. And we had told our caterer and venue that we would only have 70 to 75 guests. I got upset, had a small anxiety attack, and asked that we please not invite them, as it felt like the guest list was getting out of hand. The event was in 2 weeks. I had already sent out invitations, and one of the first things we had said about the wedding was that we wanted it to be small. And it felt like it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We had only wanted like 50 guests to begin with. His mom started crying and kept crying until he told her just to invite the relatives. We argued and argued for hours, with me trying to explain how I felt unheard and upset that we weren't allowed to make our own choices, and I had thought he had my back and would support me. His parents had paid for our catering, which I realized was very kind of them. But after we got engaged, his mom asked nonstop if she could help with planning or if she could help pay for anything. My mom had asked if she and his dad wanted to help pay for catering, and they agreed. His parents said that since they paid for the catering, after they asked over and over to help do something for the wedding, they should be allowed to invite whoever they want to the wedding, which further upset me. And at that point, you know what I'm doing at that point? I'm refunding the caterer.
Ooh.
I'm changing the wedding date. Everyone's uninvited, especially all the people you invited.
Yeah,
We're redoing the wedding.
Yeah, especially great Aunt Linda. She ain't effing coming.
Great Aunt Linda, who I don't know, she's going to talk to me about her bowel movements.
And how the food stinks.
She's not coming. And your caterer canceled.
Yep.
Sorry. You're not going to hold that over me like it's some sort of chip that you can play in a game.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Blackmail. I mean, if you pay for the catering, how many people do you get to move around or request for the wedding?
Hey,
how many?
guess what? Zero. None.
Yeah. I mean, I could see requesting someone, but that means that the answer could be no.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
I was saying like they could have like 2 or 3 people that like get into the wedding because they paid for that part.
Well, yeah, but you ask.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
At
You're
that
always
point,
asking.
it's different.
Yeah.
You have no right to be like, and we're expanding your guest list by 30 people, and you can't tell me we're not because I paid for the chicken parmesan. It's like, what are you talking about?
Pay for the barbecue.
It's hard.
Yes. So anyway, getting back to the story, that was what I would do. Let's see what they do. My fiance agreed with that reasoning and then eventually told me that he cared more about his mother's feelings than mine. Yikes! That hurt me for a long time and still does if I think about it too long. I reminded my fiance for weeks leading up to the wedding date that he and his mom needed to find a song for their dance. By the time the week of our wedding had come, they still didn't know. He wanted me to choose a song, but I refused as it was for their moment, not mine, and it should be about them and be a song that they choose together. And even if she did pick it, they'd probably be like, "Why'd you pick this song? It's the wrong song."
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get this straight. They're trying to pick the first dance song? Is that what they're trying to do?
No,
Well, they pay for catering.
For the not the first dance song, just for it's the mother-son dance.
Oh,
and they're saying, you
okay.
pick the song, OP. And OP's like, no, y'all should pick the song to your dance.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
weird.
Weird. So yeah, I didn't want to be accused of not letting his mom pick a song or of being accused that I was being controlling. So they picked a song on the Wednesday before the wedding. We're getting married on Saturday. I cried right before my rehearsal dinner on Friday started because my fiance and his mother decided that night, the night literally before our wedding, that they wanted to change the song for their dance the night before the wedding. Which honestly, is that a big deal? Is that why? It's their dance.
It's like, hey DJ, could you change the song?
that should be like a okay.
That's like you can do that.
That's like a 5-second okay type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but also there's like a huge like dance and like a recital for the dance, and it's all based around the song. I get
That
it.
song, but it's like
Yeah.
it's just their song.
Yeah, it's just their
Just
song.
these two people.
I
doing
think
it.
that's
so
not an issue.
As
to
long as
change
they're
it.
cool with it, I think that's fine.
But it is a bride
know.
about to get married, and things are happening, and she's about
Yeah,
to change
who
her
knows?
life.
I'm the
There's
wedding
this is
guy.
a wedding. The
That'd be
DJ might be like, "Oh yeah, it's a $500 fee to change a song the night before."
All right.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It's like, who knows?
That'd be
I
if,
don't
it's
know.
if it's a live band, maybe, but like if it's just like,
Yeah.
all right, click.
Why don't you get
Right.
stand-up comedians for your wedding?
Is
So-
that what you want?
Yes.
Those events were kind of the tip of the iceberg for me. Our marriage had a very rocky start, and I felt, you just went, okay, they got married. Wow.
Oh, shoot.
Our marriage had a very rocky start, and I felt like I couldn't trust that my husband and I were on the same team.
No.
We eventually got to a point where we were doing okay, but lately, within the past 2 months, I've been questioning our relationship again. I used to be excited at the idea of building a life together and having a forever with my person, but I don't feel excited anymore. I just feel tired.
Aw.
He is straight up addicted to his computer. He cannot go a single day without being on it. He has many online friends that he will game with and talk to just about constantly.
Yeah.
He works from his home in IT support, and when he's working on tickets, he'll join a Discord call and talk while he's working. And when he has slow moments in his day, he plays games while he works with his friends. What a cool guy using Discord. You can use Discord to get into our Discord.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Did you know that OK Storytime has a Discord?
And it's so fun.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's a
only
great-
cool to be on your computer all the time if you're on our Discord.
or watching
That's
us.
the rule. That's the
It's
rule.
true.
We
Might
got
have been
OK
okay.
Storytime clips. We got OK Storytime comps. We got OK Storytime clips on Facebook. We got our own channel. We got lives. We got Discord.
That's right. That's right.
Be addicted to us.
It'll save your
Okay,
marriage.
maybe not like that, but
It'll save your marriage.
It will
Keon.
save your marriage.
It will
You'll-
save your marriage.
You will get stronger as a person. Also, we have more things coming out online, so you can get addicted
Yeah,
to
dude,
those.
we've got a lot of things in the pipeline right now. It's
Like a
really
game.
exciting. Okay, back to the story. When I get home, we usually will watch maybe an hour or two of a show we like while we eat dinner, and then he goes right back to his call and games. That is very unhealthy. When I'm at work, he doesn't really message me that often. Sometimes he does, but sometimes he just forgets or doesn't check that I've messaged.
Yeah, because he's talking to his waifu online anime girlfriend.
Yeah, he's talking to his AI chatbot girlfriend. I do use Discord to message him. I stopped texting him years ago and just switched to Discord because I thought maybe if I switched to something he uses more often, maybe he'd talk to me more, but it hasn't really helped. He has always struggled with texting, taking hours to respond. I tried bringing this up for years, and it doesn't make sense to me that he'll sit in calls and talk to his friends all day long but not answer me back. His games seem to take priority over a lot, despite him telling me they don't. I have to wait for him to finish games that he's in to go to places, to eat dinner sometimes, for him to do things around the house. He'll stay up until 2, 3, or 4 in the morning, depending on the day of the week, playing games. Which I think a lot of us have been there, but at the same time,
Dude.
it's like that's not, you can't be doing that if you're trying to like start a family and like have a
Yeah.
wife and
Yeah.
be married.
tell me about it, Angie.
Yeah, you know me, always up playing games all night long.
It's
That's
crazy.
me.
She's
And
just
it's like
Minecraft.
not like one night, like maybe one night is okay with friends. One night, one late night
yeah, catching up with the bros.
for the homies.
For the female bros.
Just like every day though, nah, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that
Dude,
with a
our-
wife.
I remember when my brother, we didn't have internet growing up. So I remember whenever he got internet and could game every day until like 2 or 3 in the morning. It drove me crazy, bro. He started banging on his desk, yelling in his room.
Ooh, you can't be doing that.
When we have
Over, like, Among
roommates.
Us, right?
Ooh, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, over Among Us, dude.
Over a mogus. Okay. So if we have plans to go somewhere or meet someone, it's a struggle. I'll ask him the night before if he will get up to help me, and he says he will. I'll get up, get myself ready, take our 2 dogs outside, and make treat-filled toys for them before we have to go. I'll ask him to please get up all throughout me getting ready, and he'll get up with 10 minutes before we have to leave, and we end up being late. I would like help with getting everything ready with the dogs, where maybe he would take them out while I prep toys, or I take them out and he preps the toys. Just something to help me out.
Yeah.
It makes me frustrated, and I feel like I'm dealing with a child rather than a man that I'm married to. Well, it's because you married a man child.
Yeah, like that sucks. Like you get into a marriage and then they just don't help out around the house.
Yeah, it's like
Fall apart.
Just fall apart.
you gotta be able to do things without being asked. You have to
Yeah.
be able to do things without being told. You have eyes, you have ears.
Mm-hmm.
See and do. Monkey see, monkey do. I don't know why I just had to say that. When I said see and do, I had to put the monkeys on the front.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep,
Don't we
monkeys
all?
jumping on the bed.
Sometimes you just gotta put the monkeys in front. I have lost the patience and empathy and tolerance that I've had for years. Yeah, also they've been together since they were 15. It's been 9 years. So he's probably stupidly comfortable and thinks, she's not going anywhere.
Dude, oh my gosh. I've seen couples like this where they're just comfortable and they stay together just out of convenience.
Yeah, nah, there's
Breaks my heart.
nothing convenient about this anymore, that's for sure. I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I feel frustrated so often, and I don't know if I should stay or start trying to go. I used to want kids with him and was excited at the possibility of building a family with him, but now I don't think I want to. I feel like I'm alone, and I feel like I'm competing with a computer and his friends for attention, no matter how much I've tried to talk about it, and I don't want to bring kids up like that. And maybe he'll be different with kids, which kids never are a solution to problems like this. But what evidence do I have? I know that he loves and cares for me, and I don't think he's a bad person, but I don't know if I love him anymore, or if I want to keep dealing with things, or whether or not I'm just being dramatic. Would I be the a-hole to leave him? No.
And we got a freaking update.
We do have an update.
Really?
We do.
Dude, we already
have an
know.
update. But
Oh, yeah, he would make an amazing partner.
here's the update. Update to address some comments, not trying to make excuses, just provide explanations. And we've got bullet points, Riley's favorite. We've had discussions to try and address his behavior, and each time I was assured that it wouldn't be an issue. These discussions have also ended with him getting mad at me for things I've done wrong, and we just end up going in circles. Yeah, you can talk, and if the actions never change, then it's useless. He doesn't refuse to take care of the dogs. I'm supposed to take them out in the morning, which I often do. He will take them out at night and feed them if I haven't already. It's just in situations where that schedule is different, like if we need to leave the house or get up early to do something, which is not an excuse, because just being like, well, it's in the schedule that you're supposed to be up there in the morning. It's like if your girlfriend or your wife just asks like, hey, can you please take the dogs out this morning? You'd be like, all right. Not like, actually, in the contract, you take care of the dogs in the AM. It's like, no. And you know what? I want to take care of all my dogs right now in the chat. Because if you like stories like this one, I just want to let y'all know you can get way more of them.
Yep.
Like an almost limitless supply of them by looking up OK Storytime on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Google
Podcasts
Google
that
Podcasts,
no
which
longer
doesn't exist
exists.
anymore, whether it's
Amazon
Apple Podcasts
Podcasts.
or iHeartRadio or
Apple
we're
Podcasts.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, we're on YouTube and Facebook. Just look up OK Storytime, and you are in for a treat. So before we finish this, when
We're breaking up, dude.
when would you have broken up? Because clearly they need to break up. But like, when would have been the moment that you had been like, all right, this can't happen?
I honestly would have checked. I don't know. It seems like he hasn't had much independence before this. So like he probably just lived with his parents and like, oh, the parents are fine, blah, blah. I probably would have like saw that as a red flag.
Well, weren't they together since they were like 15?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
right?
And
And
now
how old
they're
are they now?
20. They're 24.
44.
Yeah, that's those are some important years that you gotta learn a lot about yourself, learn a lot about being an adult, being independent, and if they kind of miss that, then yeah, like what you were saying.
Yeah, now become your child.
Yeah, it's just like a
Yeah.
codependent thing where it's like, well, we've been together for so long, she's never gonna leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're
Yeah.
married, and now I can just be like, yeah, I'll change, but then I never will.
I'll just play video games and talk to my online
I don't know.
girlfriend.
I think it would have been, for me, it would be like if at the wedding planning, it's being like, yeah, I think I just care about how my mom feels about this more than you. I'd be like, that's crazy, because are you getting married to your mom?
Right.
Right? Oh, that's wild. You care more about how your mom feels about our wedding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
Weird, dude.
Because he didn't step up to his mom at all. That would have also been my second red flag. He's like,
Yeah.
the mom's pulling all this crazy stuff, and he's not saying anything.
Well, I mean, that's probably because he's a child still, and he's like, not used to having that independence, like we talked about.
It's like a mother may I type syndrome.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything needs to like, I need my permission from mom. It's like,
Gotta get
you're
mommy's
24
approval.
actually. You don't need, you don't need your mom's permission to do your wedding how you want to do it.
My mom said I need to change the dance, so we're gonna change the dance. We're literally getting married tomorrow. Like, what are we, like he's pulling that crap.
You gotta grow up.
So let's finish this off. Got some more bullet points. So we had a discussion about a week ago where I said that I didn't want to be in this relationship anymore if he did not revise his behavior, which I didn't even talk about this, but like, yeah, I was going to ask, is there even a way to salvage this with this conversation? And I think we're going to find out that there's not. So she said that, and he owned up to his behaviors and said that he would work on them because he does want to be with me and to be married to me. I've noticed some effort, but I personally don't feel the same way about him that I did before. And that is the end of that story.
Whoa.
Oh my.
And it's just
Nothing
like that?
else?
Wow, just left. Is there any update? Is there an update to that? Or is it just a cliffhanger? So that, okay, to go back to the conversation, right? You guys have had this exact discussion before where you go, hey, you need to change the way that you're behaving. And he goes, I will change for you because I love you. I want to be with you. And then he just doesn't.
Yeah.
And you've done that so many times now that he's learned, whether he even realizes it or not, that he just needs to say that he wants to be with you and stay with you, and then he can just go back to doing the exact same things that he was doing before. I would bet you 100 smackaronis that that's exactly what would happen here as well.
One thing Angie said to me one time in our relationship, which really stuck out to me, was she was like, hey, I really appreciate who you are, and even though you say nice things, you do a lot in your actions, thus it like, I appreciate that. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I was thinking. I was actually kind of thinking about that. One time, my therapist told me like to repeat the thing to yourself, like I don't trust, I observe. So even if someone tells you that they're gonna be this and this and this, you have to actually like, okay, cool, thank you for promising that, but you have to actually wait and see if their actions line up. And yeah, yours have, and so that's probably what you were thinking of.
So that I think that's like a huge thing that, if your partner doesn't, if you're not observing their change, they can say whatever. Doesn't mean anything.
My mother-in-law insulted me, so I divorced my husband.
This is complicated.
I mean, if you're gonna, that's the only way you can divorce your mother-in-law. I am a 26 black female, and my husband, who's a 27 white male, we have been together for 5 years. I
see you.
My husband comes from a family that lives comfortably, whereas I had to grind for everything I have. By the way, this comes from user miserable cover 7460 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So when we got married, his family made me sign a prenup, which is fine. I totally understand sometimes you have to protect yourself. I had made him sign a prenup as well. I would say maybe 6 months after getting married, he landed a job in IT. In our area, people who work in IT make $130K plus a year.
All right.
And I was just starting out in my career as a realtor, so I was making $84K a year.
Dang.
We keep our financials separate.
Let's go.
My husband was laid off, whereas I was doing virtual meetings and building up clients where I could start my own business. So when we could start meeting in person again, I was selling and fixing houses left and right. So in terms, I surpass what my husband makes yearly by a lot. I told my husband how much I was making, and he said, we are rich now, and I don't have to work anymore. Ooh.
Remember that prenup?
Sir, she did not win the lottery. She's good at her job.
Yeah, this doesn't give you the rights to, become a pursuing streamer.
Yeah, you did not win the Mega Millions. You have a wife who works hard.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I looked at him like he had 2 heads. I said, there is no we, only me. I am rich now, and I don't know about you not working. You're still going to work, right?
Oh, because he had a job in IT, and he probably,
And he said,
well, I don't have to, and some of the money can go towards my mother since she's been wanting to redo her house.
I looked at him confused and said, are you asking or telling me where's the money you made from being in IT? He said with a straight face, quote, I'm telling you, and my money is mine. Don't worry what I do with it. Plus, I knew how much you made. That's why I hadn't been looking for a job and told my mom that she can start demolishing.
Oh.
Who does this guy think he is?
All right. You know what's funny? If OP didn't start this conversation, she probably would have been like, hey, what's this invoice for like $24,000 for mold remediation for your mother's house?
She's like, did we have a mold problem? He's like, nah, but my mom did.
Yeah,
and
pretty bad.
Thanks for fixing that, by the way. I told him that I'm not doing a dang thing, and if he wants to help his mother, he can do it himself. And I left the conversation. I found his behavior kind of odd because he never talks to me that way, nor has he ever been demanding like that. Money does crazy stuff,
It
man.
really does when you don't work and expect money from others.
Money be doing crazy
Also,
things.
you know what? If I'm in IT, my wife, my beautiful wife, is doing great as a realtor, I'm going to do whatever in my power to make sure my IT goes towards her business if I'm going to have any kind of money from her.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
Yeah,
like
just-
SEO, optimization, videos, marketing, whatever.
the I don't need to work anymore because you make so much money. That's insane.
Insane.
Um,
Only reason I would be not working and using my partner's money is if I am being the stay-at-home dad.
only if we win like the lottery. If
Yeah.
we get like a giant influx of cash and we'd never need to work again.
Or here we go. I have a conversation with my wife instead of like expecting it.
yeah, at the very least that. But man,
Sheesh.
yeesh. Okay, so let's try to figure out why he switched up because she said he's never behaved like this. The next day, I got home from my office, but I didn't tell my husband when I got off. I walk into our home. I hear my mother-in-law and my husband talking. My mother-in-law said, quote, "I don't know why I let you marry that." I see you. Just came true.
I called that.
Mommy racist.
I called that, but oh
Racist
my
mom.
gosh.
Drops the N-word and says that they are selfish.
Oh.
Wow.
with the hard one. Oh.
You've got an appointment with James Gandolfini's spirit pigs, man. Come on. My husband said that some are selfish, but not all. Oh
my God. Leave. Done.
Dude,
Bye.
this is your wife.
Husband should have
Bye.
immediately said, "Get out of
Bye.
my house," and instead he goes, "Yeah, but not all of them." Yeah.
Dude.
Bye.
Oh my.
So I walked towards my husband and said I wanted a divorce, and then I went upstairs, packed most of my clothes, and left. Perfect. Exactly.
To one of her many
Exactly.
properties she can go to.
Mhm. Yes. No, this is
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
Luckily, I bought myself another property that I could stay at that my husband didn't know about.
Oh.
He called me later saying that what I heard had an explanation to it, and I hung up on him. Yeah, there's no explanation for that.
No.
Now I get calls from his side of the family saying that mother-in-law can justify why she said that. No, she can't. And I'm being sensitive and asking for a divorce over what his mother said is wrong. No, it's not. So am I the a-hole? No.
No.
You're not.
Absolutely not.
You're not.
Oh my gosh.
Why would
dude.
why? Number 14.
Yeah, you didn't pay for my mold
Number
remediation.
14.
So I'm gonna say that.
Wow.
Also, the husband say,
No, that's
"Oh,
dude.
dude, that would be so heartbreaking."
nope. If your mom, if anyone in your family that you're talking to one-on-one calls your
Says anything
significant
like
other
that.
a racial slur,
You
you leave.
go.
You
no
tell them,
contact.
go, get out. I can't believe you just said that. Get out of my sight. That's what you say to that.
You don't try to agree with them.
Hey, yay.
What?
Yeah. Sorry for the long post. Thank you for taking your time to read this. And there's an edit. I'll be sure to update you guys later on in the week. And there's going to be an update because we are not done yet. I'll be sure to update you guys later on in the week or after I meet with lawyers. But for now, I'll eat ice cream, cry, and watch my favorite anime.
Aw.
Edit number 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and my non-binary people. Thank you, everyone, for your advice and prayers as well as blessings. I got emotional after reading the kind words you guys left for me. I appreciate it. I got a call this morning from my husband's father saying that he's very apologetic about what his ex-wife had said
Whoa.
and will get me in contact with a lawyer today, and he'll pay for all of the costs for the lawyer.
Oh, dude, W father-in-law.
Well, I mean, not anymore, but he's a W guy, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, not the
Yeah.
father-in-law anymore, but W guy.
W guy.
Oh my gosh, that's
being
amazing.
like, yeah, that's really bad. He's going to help me through this entire ordeal. I'll update you guys after the meeting. Here comes the update.
Here we go.
Guys, I have an update. I will make a separate post about it because it's going to be a rant, so please have your popcorn and tea. The reason why I'm not updating now is because I'm moving all my things out and planning to go on a vacation with my side of the family with my newfound richness. So bear with me, you guys. Thank you so much for your patience and blessings. But seriously, get the popcorn and the tea, get the juice, whatever you do in your spare time. You guys aren't going to believe this.
Oh my. Okay.
Here
okay.
it is.
This is what happened.
What happens, Riley?
I just thought for a second. She leaves him. He creates a tantrum. I don't think he'd go to social media, but he ends up moving in with his mother with their demolished house. and lives in the basement and doesn't have a job, and the mother and him have to live in agony together. Because I bet you 10 buckaroos, he's not getting a job.
He's living
and
in the old house.
And the mother does not have any more financial support because she just got divorced or whatever. How many? But
They're gonna live in the mold house.
they're gonna live in the mold house together.
That's a good one. Mine is there's a certain organization that they belong to. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh wow.
Secret.
Oh, I didn't even think
Secret.
of that.
They're in a secret organization
Queen
of
procrastination.
idiots.
Father-in-law
and stupid
hits on
people.
her. Wow.
Yeah, father-in-law hits on her. Ooh. Ugh, I hope not. Okay, so here we go. Update. I want to say thanks, first and foremost, for all the support that was given throughout this week. But please get your snacks and your wine or whatever, because I'm very petty and I'm probably the a-hole for the things that I did. But I do not care, because sometimes revenge is very sweet. So on Monday, this might be one of those situations like I was talking about earlier where the pettiness is probably justified here.
Yeah.
So on Monday, I met with the lawyer, and first and foremost, I wanted to make sure my source of income was secure. Secondly, I was to make sure at the time that if I were to go through with the divorce, I was 100% protected. And I am, but me still trying to be a wife and still having love for him, even though he didn't do his job as a husband, I still wanted to work it out.
Dang.
Say it with me, guys. You're dumb.
Yeah, because at that point, is he your husband? He's not providing. He's not protecting.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he's letting
It's-
this slide.
I guess it would be almost so shocking that I can think maybe being like, I mean, is there a way he can explain this? But it's like,
No.
there isn't.
No,
There
really
is
isn't.
none.
There isn't. Like if that's at the back of your mind as you're marrying your wife,
No, it's like,
and you say that out loud.
I can't imagine, I can imagine what I would do if, my mom or dad, talking about, if I had, a partner who was not white,
Mm-hmm.
and they said some, a slur about my partner, being like, I shouldn't have let you date that. And it's like, I'd be like, whoa, first of all, I can't believe
Yeah.
you just said that. Second of all, get away. I'm leaving or I'm going. You're going or I'm going.
Yeah, this
I can't look at you right now. But anyways, I met with my husband and his mother, and it went smoothly at first, but it was still tense. So my husband says he's sorry and he apologized 1,000 times, so I'm okay. So his mother says I'm sorry as well, and I nodded. Then she goes on to ask if you can still help me with the house and bills. I still told her no. She looked so confused and said, but I apologized.
You thought that was gonna work?
But wait, but my words, don't they have more weight than my actions? Oh no, stupid. You got that backwards.
She acted like OP is a genie. He's like, once I say I'm sorry, I get my 3 wishes.
No, that's the rules. That's the rules. You can't. You have to do it now. I said sorry. So I said, just because you apologized doesn't mean I'm ready to accept it. And you're not going to bully me into thinking otherwise. She got so angry, her face turned red. And she said, I quote, you self-centered beep. Your kind is always self-centered, and I'm glad my son cheated on you. We are going to get the money from spousal support. I don't know if you guys saw that Fox show, Empire. I have not. When Cookie Lion was going to hop on that table, I don't know. I almost did, you guys, because even though she's my grandmother's age, it would have been like slapping my grandmother. Therapy works for some, so instead I laughed. I looked at my ex-husband. He couldn't even look me in the eyes, so I knew it was true. After I finished laughing, I said to my dear husband that the divorce papers will be delivered to you by tonight. And you aren't getting crap from me because that prenup that you signed 5 years ago, yeah, you're effed. Meaning he ain't getting crap. After that, I paid for my food and left. Since then, I moved out of his house, and that house his mom wanted to redo or renovate, she got evicted because she wasn't paying her a bill.
Yes, I knew that was gonna happen.
Yep.
I should have said they would have been homeless on the street.
Bang,
but,
bang.
Oh.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
Yep, she was waiting for a handout. So I am buying that house. Oh!
And then she's gonna
You
flip it.
bought the house out from underneath her.
Then she's gonna flip it,
Woo!
get a cheaper quote for mold remediation, and just go bonanzo and get such a crazy.
Bonanzo.
You know what'd be hilarious is if she flipped it and then had an African American couple move into her house.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be
That'd
amazing.
be great. Yeah. Ex-husband is staying with his brother, and so is his mother. So for all of this, I deserve a vacation. So as for revenge on my husband, because of course divorce isn't enough for me. Oh, I think vacation is also revenge.
God.
Dude, you've got all the revenge in the world
Yeah,
that
girl.
you've needed right here.
Nah,
You're
keep it
dumb.
going. Keep it going.
And if you wanna hear some more stories like this, you can hear them whenever you want just by looking up OK Storytime on any of your preferred podcast platforms, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, or you can look us up on Facebook too. It's like we're all over the place.
All over it.
Look up OK Storytime wherever you watch things and find us.
Yeah, dude. OP is winning.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to say. She executed this beautifully.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think she's done.
You don't think so?
No,
No.
she's. I mean,
What's she gonna do with the
No.
house?
She bought the mom's house.
What's she gonna do with that?
And you know what? She didn't evict her. It's like she waited for her to get evicted and then was
Yeah.
like, I'll buy it for the cheap.
And I bet you she said for sale and then had a picture of herself in a realty company
yeah,
beside of it.
100%. Put a big picture of herself in the front yard.
Oh my God.
We do have a little bit more left. I think the biggest red flag to me is that like she said that in front of your ex-husband and he didn't blink. It's like from that moment you should have realized, oh, this whole family is rotten. Anyway, but let's finish the story. Let's see where the pettiness leads us. I wanted to make him regret everything by living his dream. I'm moving to Malibu, living the rich life. But not only am I moving there, I also bought the house he's been looking at for years. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Told you she ain't done.
Dude. Dude, this is beautiful.
Professional.
This is beautiful.
This is
No.
professional
Yeah,
revenge.
when it
This
was
isn't
like
even petty.
when I was like, oh, she wanted to be a little bit petty, and she's like, okay, everything's working, and then they doubled down.
Mhm.
She's gonna like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna scorch earth now.
Not only am I buying your mom's house, I'm buying your dream house, and you don't get to come.
Yikes.
And also, yes, my kind, quote unquote, will be staying there for Christmas. But other than that, I'm doing great. It's like a huge weight has been lifted off from my shoulders. That is amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for reading and all of the blessings that have been sent my way. I do appreciate it and all of the support. And we do have some comments, but let's see what we have to say here.
Yes.
Why did OOP buy all those houses? Comment 2, at one point OP accumulated so many houses that if she had said something like she sent her ex-mother-in-law to jail, I would probably think she was playing Monopoly. So it's just people in the chat being like, yo, OP's got a lot of houses.
Yeah. Well, you can whenever you have like a realty company like that. You can like, if you got money like that.
Oh yeah, you can
You
go
can
beep,
easy.
boop. I'm
Yeah.
bi-coastal. I'm
Yeah.
Comment 3 says, duh, she's a realtor, so she gets commissions from the house she sells. That's how she became wealthy, by selling herself properties. /S, that's sarcastic. Comment 4, infinite money glitch. Yeah, we just had jokes. That honestly, low-key, I kind of wish I just done my own jokes there. But that is the end of that story.
That's the end.